Welcome to Eternal Rambles, where the Eternals ramble eternally. My name is Aaron.
And I'm Cody.
And for the final, the climactic, the probably a little sad, actually, conclusion to childhood cartoons, we are talking about Cartoon Network, the big boy, depending on who you're asking.
Yeah.
The big boy to us.
Yes, so Cartoon Network is definitely one of those ones. Out of the three channels, the big three, everyone knows the big three. You have Bleach. Out of the big three, Disney, Nickelodeon, and Cartoon Network, me and Aaron definitely spent the most time on Cartoon Network.
Previously known as the Hanna-Barbera Studios.
Really?
Yes.
It was just
Yeah,
Hanna-Barbera?
Yeah, and then Butch Hartman actually used to work at Hanna-Barbera Studios.
Oh, I just thought Cartoon Network owned the rights to Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
No, it was originally Hanna-Barbera Studios, and then it pivoted into Cartoon Network.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do pretty much what we did on the Disney and Nickelodeon one. Obviously, the Nickelodeon one was a little less structured than the Disney one was.
And this one is much more structured than even the Disney one, because we're a little bit more in practice having done the Disney one.
Exactly. So we're going to do the structure of Aaron is going to read off the shows that are visible on the website itself, on CartoonNetwork.com, which is nowhere near as good as it used to be because you can't play Flash games anymore.
And also the problem is you click on shows, it doesn't give you a list of shows, it gives you
pictures.
It gives you icons.
Yeah.
So I can tell you the very first one, and you've probably guessed, is Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, because it's their most popular one.
And then it's the amazing.
Whoa.
What?
I'm gonna tell what I'm gonna read from the Wikipedia list.
No, I read this first.
I know.
I read this first.
I didn't get to tell them what comes after that. After he reads that, I'm going to read from the Wikipedia list, and we're going to go down the list, whatever it says, and we're going to react in that way. This is just reading off to see what the difference is on what they decide to display on the fucking website.
So, I definitely say that CartoonNetwork.com is more like, there's more effort put into it than like Disney Now.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah, but it's also a little harder to navigate because I didn't know how to get to shows initially. It was just trying to pitch me episodes, and there are certain episodes that it gives you that you do not have to log in to be able to watch it. But that makes me assume there are other episodes that you do have to log in and have a Cartoon Network account to watch full episodes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So the first one is Teen Titans Go. The next one is The Amazing World of Gumball. The third one, I have no idea. Let me see. I had to click on it.
Let me see.
Craig of the Creek.
Ah, yes.
Then it is Tiny Toons? Tiny Toons Luniversary. I guess they brought back Tiny Toons.
Oh, nice.
Total Drama Island.
Honestly, shocking that that's still on there.
The Heroic Quest of the Valiant Prince Ivandoe, which is, he's a doe, and they're like animal people in the forest, I assume. We Baby Bears, which if you didn't know is We Bear Bears, but babies. Oh, this is gonna be favorite. Total Dramarama, which is the Total Drama cast, but as children.
Why?
Because if you have any show that has characters, guaranteed way of milking it for a little bit more is taking all the characters and turning them into babies. Because you had Muppet Babies, and you had Baby Looney Tunes. Yeah. Which is different than Tiny Toons.
Yeah.
Because those are technically different characters based off of the Looney Tunes. Yeah. But then Baby Looney Tunes was literally just the Looney Tunes.
As babies.
But babies at Granny's house. Which I actually did enjoy that one.
I mean, I like them both. So.
Summer Camp Island. Adventure Time. Regular show. I'm going to hold my opinions on these because, like, obviously we're going to talk about them later.
Yeah.
What? Stay. I was trying to slide to the next, and it kept like resetting to the first one. Okay. Steven Universe.
Yeah.
And then Steven Universe Future.
I know that was the thing.
Yeah, after the movie, like they had jumped like 5-10 years in the future, and it's like if Steven is like an adult or like an.
Oh yeah, when he has like acne and shit.
No, as in like he's like, where he goes insane because he like spent his entire life like solving everyone else's problems, and then he solved those problems. Now there are no more problems to solve except for his own.
Oh yeah.
And he kind of went cuckoo.
Oh no!
Never seen the show. I just know this.
Oh no! Only my own problems left.
Yeah, the Ben 10 reboot, and then Ben 10 Classic. No Ultimate Alien, Alien Force, or Omniverse. None of that. It's just,
Wow.
yeah. So that tells you how Cartoon Network views those 3 series. The only ones to talk about is the reboot and the classic series. We Bare Bears. Powerpuff Girls Go? No, just not the. It's the Powerpuff Girls, but the art style they're presenting is like the new one they did.
Oh, so it's the 2016 Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah. This show, like this list needs to stop resetting back to the first page. Clarence. It's called Clarence. Uncle Grandpa.
Cartoon Network,
Unikitty. Batwheels?
What?
Is it Cars but DC like super?
Bro.
Oh no.
It's kids shows. It's got to be kids shows.
Oh, I guess. Bugs Bunny Builders. I didn't know that was a thing. Some of these I'm literally just having to click on them. Like, what is the name of this thing? Jessica's Big Little World. All right.
Remember to hydrate, fellas.
Hydration is important.
Hydration is important.
Thomas and Friends, All Engines Go, which is not, it's like a new Thomas the Tank Engine.
That looks gross.
Well, the original Thomas looked pretty gross, to be fair.
Oh, yeah, fair.
Horrendous art style is key to Thomas the Tank and Dankin.
So,
Mecha Builders, which looks like freaking Muppets, but like...
oh my god, that's kids shows. That's kids programming.
But it's in shows.
Yeah, I know. It's like little kids programming. I wonder where they must be doing that on a separate channel.
It's just as Cartoon Network.
Yeah, I know.
Baby Looney Tunes. Blippi Wonders. Littleby City Farm. Looks terrifying.
You know what else is owned by Cartoon Network?
Care Bears Unlock the Magic.
Oh my god.
And then just, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have some legacy stuff in there, like Ben 10. But like, and Total Drama Island, which isn't really legacy, but that was like 2010s or something like that. So
No.
What,
It was like 2008.
I was in like middle school, so
I mean,
I was in middle school when that was out.
let me double check that. But anyways, what I was gonna say is the Cartoon Network website has just fucking. These websites used to be so fun to go to.
Yeah, they
you
did.
could hop on,
Yep.
play the fucking Flash games. Like I remember playing the one with Ben 10 with the object you could change, like you could customize the stage.
Yeah.
And choose what aliens you
He
could
was
pick.
Mario Maker before Mario Maker.
Exactly. I also played one from this old show called Class of 3000, which was one of those ones where you could like choose the instrument and choose what note they would play, and you could make songs off of the different instruments that the students played. I would spend hours doing that. I had no idea how to make music.
Yeah, like I remember like on DisneyChannel.com there was like this 3D CGI like game where you could drive around in Kim's car, and there was another one on Nickelodeon that was like you drove around on the
2007
on the SpongeBob. Well, I guess
I was 7.
Yeah, but it's like it makes me sad because like, the only reason you would go to these websites anymore potentially is to like watch episodes of the show because they killed Flash Player, so like and these companies aren't bothering to try to they just release iPhone games now if anything, so these websites, they don't have games anymore, so the only things you go there for are for the episodes, but like the layouts are bad and the website sucks, so just go to like YouTube or Disney Plus or Netflix or Max or Paramount, each of these 3 corresponding ones with their own thing. Like, I think the presentation of Cartoon Network has been the best so far, but Disney definitely had the most complete list of shows. But here's something that's different between Cartoon Network and the other two. They have no dedicated kids or junior channel. If anything, you have Cartoon Network, and then you have Boomerang, which they put their old programming on.
Yeah, which Boomerang has always been one of my favorites.
Yeah, you're getting old, and every cartoons you watched as a kid are on Boomerang.
Yeah.
Which they are.
Dude,
they are.
Fucking Amazing World of Gumball is on Boomerang, and I don't know how to feel about that.
All right, so that's it for CartoonNetwork.com.
And time to move on to the Wikipedia page.
By the way, like CartoonNetwork.com, don't just do their icons. To get the name of the show, please.
Yes. Please, I would like to have the name of the show next to the show.
Because if, like, a kid is like, hey, Mom, please put this show on CartoonNetwork.com, and the mom doesn't know the art style of the characters, like, aww.
Okay, so first we're going to start off with current...
And God forbid the kid doesn't know the name of the show. Because that happened to my parents sometimes, like, when they, like, my eldest sister were like, I want the VHS. Like, and, like, she was like, I want Bank Bank. And my parents were like, what is Bank Bank? So depending on the age, because, like, there were some, like, kiddie-looking shows on Cartoon Network. So, like 5 and 6-year-olds, like, if they don't know the name of the show, and they're like, I want this, they're like, what's the parent gonna do?
And then there's fucking shows like Happy Tree Friends, which is like...
It looks like
a kid's show.
But it's not.
In the first, like, 5 minutes, it is like a kid's show.
It makes you think.
And so, like, a parent would look at the first, like, 3 minutes, and be like, oh, this is good for my kid to watch. And then just, like, murder.
Cuts to somebody at a lemonade stand, and they end up juicing an eyeball instead of a lemon. Yeah, I don't like Happy Tree Friends.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Happy Tree Friends.
No, but I do understand the satirical
absolutely
bit of it.
How it should have a rating on the,
like
the
warning,
screen. Yeah. Then we have current programming, which me and Aaron are probably going to know very little of current programming.
Unless, the one that might still be going on.
Yeah. So first of all, we have Craig of the Creek. Don't know shit.
Don't know anything about it.
Wee Baby Bears.
Which makes me angry, because it's just like they had Wee Bears, and then they just made them babies.
Yeah, I actually kind of like Wee Bears, but we'll get into that later. But Wee Baby Bears, I heard about it, and I was like, why? Warner Bros. Animation. Teen Titans Go.
Yes.
How much time do we want to spend on this?
As much as we want.
That's the real question.
As much as we want.
Okay, so I have a couple of differing opinions on Teen Titans Go, because I think Teen Titans Go as a series is fine, because you're making a series on characters from another comic book, but making it for a younger audience, a different audience, as the original Teen Titans. But you're doing certain things in the show that is only meant to be understood by viewers of the original show. And then making fun of viewers of the original show for wanting more of the original show.
Yeah, that's the thing that I can't get behind. Where it's like, okay, initially Teen Titans Go came out, and a bunch of teenagers and young adults cried out, like, oh my god, you're murdering my childhood! How dare you take this cartoon that we watched and turn it into a different cartoon that we don't want to watch! So I understand them initially being like, alright, I'm gonna take a jab at you because you're taking constant, like, baseball bats to us. So initially, defend yourself, have a little fun at somebody else's expense that's making fun of you. That's all cool. But when you make certain episodes, like the one where Slade returns, and then the first 10 seconds there's a prompt that appears on screen that says, Slade is not in this episode, and you spend the first 5 minutes with all the characters going, Slade! 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 And you have these children who did not watch the original Titans, has no idea who Slade is. You want to make a joke? Make a joke. But if it's for your target audience, and they're not gonna get the joke, and all you're doing is riling up an audience that does not watch your show, except for somebody sees it and then tweets about it and then makes this whole thing about it, now your priorities have skewed from stop making fun of this show that's not for you to, oh, you don't like our show? Fuck you, and we're going to lose our own audience just to make that point of fuck you.
Exactly. And that's my biggest problem with Teen Titans Go. Now, it does have episodes that I find interesting. Like, the Night Begins to Shine episode is pretty fun. The episode with the multiple Robins is kind of fun. But, like, the show as a whole, I don't like the butchering of the characters. And like I said, there's clearly points in there that's meant to draw in people from the original series. And then they just butcher like Robin. It's specifically Robin. Like, every other character is just that character to the extreme.
I mean, Beast Boy translates pretty well.
Yeah, Beast Boy is like, that is Beast Boy. He's just stupid.
Yeah.
And Cyborg, they made Cyborg stupid for some reason. Like, yeah, he's Beast Boy's friend.
Yeah, they're like the
but
comedy
he was never
duo.
dumb.
No.
He was intelligent.
He was the single smartest character in the
group.
show.
Yeah. And then Starfire, they just made her more, not dumb, but like airheaded.
Yeah.
And they made Raven just grumpy in general, just a little bit more grumpy.
You just turned her into Oscar.
Yeah, like not evil, just grumpy.
Which was never evil.
But they just took Robin and they were like, oh, he has no superpowers. He's completely useless. He is the most useless member of the team. Robin, if there was one episode that I could pinpoint, or one moment in the show that I could pinpoint and look at and be like, this is why this show pisses me off, it's the fucking prank episode when they're all pranking each other. And it's just all kind of fun pranks at the beginning. And then they're like, hey, Robin, we found your dead parents. And then they fucking wrap him up in fucking scotch tape. And it's like, haha, you have dead parents. Like, no, abso-fucking-lutely not. That is a fucking horrible thing to do in a children's program.
Yeah, where you could have children watching this who do have dead parents and who are adopted or in foster care.
Exactly. That is horrible.
Yeah.
Like, that is just the most deplorable fucking writing I've ever heard in my life.
Because you know the thing about the Teen Titans are? They're all kids and teenagers who have tragic backstories and came together to be their own group. Cyborg had a horrific accident which made him have to replace 90% of his body with machinery. Starfire was a princess whose people went to war and she got betrayed by her sister to be locked up and sent away, never to see her planet ever again. Robin has a Batman backstory. His parents were killed by a criminal right in front of him, and if it was not for Batman, he never would have seen justice done. And then more things. And then freaking Raven is the daughter of the devil. And Beast Boy, at like 9 years old, like younger than, because he was on Doom Patrol fighting full-ass megalomaniacal supervillains, prevented the apocalypse and got yelled at by his team leader for not stopping the brain, instead saving his family, the other members of the Doom Patrol, and got kicked out of the team at 10 years old.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch Titans Assemble or whatever it's called, I think Titans Go, like the episodes, like, I think it's like season 4 or 5, but like it's like canonically the first episode of the series where it's showing the team getting together.
Yeah. Where
like Beast Boy's still wearing his Doom Patrol mask, and it's like Beast Boy, sir, like talking to Rob and stuff. He's all like trying to be like, you know, like proper like that. And then Raven's like, she's less rude and just more timid, like, oh no, there are people. And Starfire being a literal like warrior princess, and then Cyborg being like, yo, who's tearing up my neighborhood? I love Robin's introduction too, because it's literally just like there's a criminal like running away, and like his like birdarang says like, what are you doing here? I thought you were just moved to town. And then just like he goes off on the guys. It's like, this is Robin at like, I don't know, 12? I don't know, they don't really specify his age. Going off on his own to a completely different city to be Batman.
And that's the thing, is like Robin in and of himself, they make fun of him all the time, like, oh, he's got baby hands, he's powerless, he's completely useless, he's a useless being, he shouldn't be on the team, blah 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 blah. But
even though they have 3 separate episodes in the original Teen Titans explaining
Robin can kick everyone on this team's ass by himself.
Because there's the episode where you first come across the Hive, who Robin like falls into a sewer and everyone thinks he's dead, and the Hive like kick the other Titan's ass, and then Robin shows up, and then they instantly win because Robin doesn't give up, and he comes up with plans. And then the episode where Slade made him his apprentice, so he has to fight all 4 Titans alone,
and while holding back, because they don't know it's him, while holding back.
No, that was whenever he was Red X.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, did that happen before?
So Red X was Robin posing as a villain to try to get close to Slade to find out what Slade's plans were.
Yeah.
And then at the season finale was whenever like those nanites were put into the other.
Yeah.
So like Slade like Robin, like you have to be. So like you could say that the first time like with Hive was one thing, and then with the first time with Red X, it was Robin knew all their weaknesses and they didn't know it was him. So like there was that angle like where like he had an advantage, and the other one was like, well, they don't want to hurt Robin, so they're holding back. It's like, but here's the thing: whether they were holding back or not, whenever Slade says fight Robin, fight for real, or I will kill them, he goes hard and takes them all out before they could do anything.
Exactly.
No, I'm not saying Robin always solos the Titans. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is Robin as a protagonist and as a hero can stand against any one of them. Like one-on-one, I believe Robin has a fair chance on taking on literally any of them.
Exactly. And so them constantly making fun of him for just being powerless is very frustrating to me.
Yeah.
Because it's Robin.
Yeah.
It's Nightwing. It's Dick Grayson.
Reminds me of that line from Young Justice. It's like, well, you don't have any powers. Neither does Batman. You're not Batman. Closest thing we got.
Yeah.
It's like, obviously we're trailing into Teen Titans with this conversation of Go. But it's like, I did not hate Go on concept. I understood immediately it was not meant for me. And if you look at ignoring comic book accuracy, because honestly, Teen Titans as a cartoon was not accurate to the comics at all. It's just another cartoon with these characters. I'm glad the voice cast stayed the same so they could keep making money and doing their jobs. Because honestly, they're all fantastic. So I'm happy they got to keep doing what they were doing. Obviously, they're still doing it. Like it's a job to them.
Yeah, it's still making new episodes, so
it's not for me. It only upsets me when they are explicitly talking down and making fun of the original fans of the original Teen Titans.
Exactly, because like, guys, the original fans have moved on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't talk. The only reason we are talking about it now is because we're doing a podcast on Cartoon Network shows.
Mm-hmm.
But the original fans have moved on. But the creators of Teen Titans Go have not. Mm-hmm. They still continue to make fun of the original fans for no reason.
Well, I don't know. The last time I know that they made a joke at the expense of the audience was the Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans movie.
Yeah.
Or special, or whatever it was. Other than that, I don't know. I have watched an episode of Teen Titans. I told this in the previous podcast, whereas like Teen Titans Go has gone on for so long, they're literally just doing the same premise on episodes again and again. Like they're just doing the exact same premise, just a little differently this time.
Yeah.
So that's an example of like this show's been going on too long. But they keep making episodes because it's just popular, and little kids keep watching it.
Yep. And he keeps making money. So.
Mm.
Next up we have Teen Titans Go came out in 2013.
And it's still going on?
And it's still going
11
on.
years.
Yeah. Tiny Toons Luniversity.
Honestly, I never really watched that much of Tiny Toons.
Oh, dude, I watch Tiny Toons all the time. I haven't seen the new one.
It's Buster
and Babs.
And Babs.
Yeah.
Okay. Only characters, so I know the names of them.
Only ones I know the name of.
It's Looney Tunes, and therefore, in my opinion, it's probably good.
Yeah, if Looney Tunes, 80% chance it's gonna be good.
I mean, I watched some of those Looney Tunes like new animations.
If this is
and they were pretty funny.
I hope that's that one from the edgy one is on here.
Oh, Lunatics Unleashed.
Yeah, Lunatics
That was on WB.
Unleashed. Yeah. Well, because WB owns Cartoon Network.
But it released on WB, so like that might be a different might be a different
Warner
list.
Brothers Animation did Teen Titans Go.
Oh, so we'll see.
That's why I'm like, it should
but
still be on
this is
here.
this is still current broadcasting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it'll probably be a different section.
Yeah, probably.
So we'll find out.
Amazing World of Gumball.
I didn't really watch it, honestly. I just didn't. When it came out, I just didn't seem like something that I would want to watch.
You know, that's fair. Like, I always followed the trio. Like, I feel like Cartoon Network has this trio of shows that's just like they all came out like within a couple of years of each other, but it's like it's Adventure Time, regular show, and Amazing World of Gumball. And like it really, those are the three shows that defined that generation of Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Like, I could be wrong on this, but I feel like I know for sure Adventure Time and regular show, those really make, but I kind of put Amazing World of Gumball into that same category as those three. Like, I call them the big three of Cartoon Network. And I feel I'm correct on that for that generation. Because, like, obviously you have the 90s Cartoon Network, but I feel like early 2010s to, like, late 2000s, like, was defined by those three shows. And Amazing World of Gumball specifically, although my least favorite of those three shows, is still one of my favorite shows of that generation. Because I like the dynamic that a lot of the characters have, and with each other over just crazy bullshit stuff happening. And a lot of the episodes that they go into, they pull stuff out that you would not, like the anime episode, for example, where they just have Nicole, because like Nicole's whole characterization is like she'll beat that ass. So like they do an anime fight scene with her and the Cloud Woman, I can't remember her name, but like they actually animate it like an anime fight scene, and it is fantastic. Apparently I'm not 100% sure if this is a fan drawing that I saw, because it looked exactly like artwork from the show. I could be wrong, but Darwin, which I don't know if you know who Darwin is.
Darwin is the goldfish.
Yeah, so he gets with the ghost girl, right? That's who he ends up with. And there's a picture of them all as adults, right? All the kids as adults. And obviously Gumball's with the peanut girl and Darwin's with the ghost girl, but Darwin is a ghost.
Well, because he's a goldfish.
Yeah. And I'm like, how did he die?
Probably got old because he's a goldfish.
But yeah, so like, I'm kind of curious. I need to go back with some of these shows. Like regular show, I've seen all the way through. Adventure Time, I've seen most of it, but not ever all the way through. Amazing World of Gumball was one of those shows that I haven't watched except for when it was on Cartoon Network, and I would watch it like just whenever an episode came on. So I don't know, I haven't seen it all the way through, so I don't know all the plot points, but it is one of those shows that it has a canon, but each episode is really its own story, but it does have an overarching canon of what happens. Like, you know, things from previous episodes will get brought up in later ones. But I think Amazing World of Gumball is just a good show, and I enjoy watching it, and it's something that I do intend on going back and rewatching the full entirety of, and you know, I can come back with more opinions on it after that, but I think as of right now, I have to hold the opinion that it is one of the better ones that Cartoon Network has made past the 90s.
Yeah, like I know my brother really liked it, but like I never really.
We talking about That Gamer?
No.
Wait.
No.
No, that's...
It'd be clean.
Yeah. Oops.
What a maroon.
Yeah. I confused their gamer tags, okay? Next is one I'm pretty sure neither of us have even heard of, which is The Heroic Quest of Valiant Prince Ivan Doe.
Yeah, that was the one. The deer and the no context.
No
It
context.
just looks like forest creatures in the forest doing things.
All right, time for preschool. Modern preschool show.
I assume this is stuff that airs at like 6 a.m.
Yeah. Bugs Bunny Builders, Bat Wheels, and Jessica's Big Little World.
Yeah, no context for any of those. Like Looney Tunes might be interesting.
Skip.
might be interesting, but I never seen, could not tell you. And I can't watch some of these shows on HBO Max because the people behind HBO, the new CEO, fucking hates cartoons and animations, so he's literally getting rid of cartoons on the only place that you could ever see them.
Yeah. I don't know if this accounts for all of the series, or if it's just its own thing, but it has Total Drama listed as just Total Drama. So that makes me assume that it's talking about all of them.
Total Drama-rama.
Yeah, like all of them. Like Total Drama Island, Total Drama...
I mean, we could just talk about them all right now.
Island 2.
Okay.
I grew up watching Total Drama Island, and I loved Total Drama Island.
I only watched the first season.
Well, it's fun.
The first season is fun. It's fine.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh no, look, the $1 million prize or $100,000 now it's $1 million. Now we get to do this all again, but only with certain members of the cast that were in the water at the time. So we're gonna cut our cast down and do the whole thing again. But this time it's Hollywood themed.
Yeah, that one I actually loved. So Total Drama Island and Total Drama Action, which is the Hollywood
the
themed
second one, yeah.
is the one that I love.
And then they went back to Island.
And then they went back to Island, and then they did World Tour, Total Drama World Tour, which they're in a plane.
Yeah, they're
and
literally
every
flying
episode
around the world.
they throw them out of the plane to do something.
Yeah.
So I watched a few of them, but my favorite ones were Total Drama Island because I just thought the premise was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, make a cartoon about reality TV shows.
Yeah. Because you could actually the extreme wacky things that people do on game shows and reality TV, but with animation we could do things like people jumping off a mountain into a tiny little circle in shark-infested waters.
Yeah, let's take this guy who is like, this is a kid's show. You got to remember, this is a kid's show. It's like, let's take this man who should be in prison.
Yes.
Yeah, who should be in prison.
I mean, that's literally a plot point, is that he goes to jail at one point, and then they bring him back.
Yes,
He's in a straitjacket.
That's in World Tour, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think it is.
Because
at one point, like...
No, in World Tour, they break into, like, a CIA, like prison or something.
I don't know, man.
But, like, you know, I like... my biggest thing was, like, I like Total Drama Action because the character development that Heather had in Total Drama Action. Because towards the end of the show, spoilers, the end of the show, they're racing into a volcano to win the $1 million prize, and it's Heather versus the super sexy guy. Not the one
Justin?
from the first season.
Justin?
No, not the one from the first season. It's a different one.
Oh, it's a different...
Yeah. So it's a super sexy guy, right? And, like they're racing into the volcano, and Heather's cut off her hair at this point. She's actually turning into a good character, like a good guy. Like she's had character development.
She's realizing that all her machinations aren't getting her what she wants,
and has grown as an individual. And I'm like, this is the kind of shit that I'm here for. Like, this person has grown as an individual. And then finally, she's like, you know what? It's not worth it. And then the guy was like, you know, no, I'm just gonna. And then he jumps into the fucking thing to get the $1 million prize, and he gets it.
So Gollum.
Yeah, he falls in the volcano, and like his whole body. No, Anakin, because he gets a robot body. I think it's good. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked the ending of season 2, Total Drama Action.
I only really liked season 1.
I mean, at least you liked season 1, and
yeah.
That's really like, you know. And then they had remember that song that they did with the guy that was like, oh god, the skinny guy with the glasses.
The beatboxing?
The action show, yeah, the beatboxing thing.
That wasn't during the talent show, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that shit was so weird.
Yeah, so...
They made that a bumper, if I'm not mistaken. You know what a bumper is, right?
No.
Okay, so, you remember watching Boomerang? Right?
Yeah.
So, you know those little things in between shows where it would be like the little toys walking?
Oh, so...
That's a bumper. It's a buffer between...
Yeah, but the thing about Boomerang was you got to watch the entirety of the cartoon and then like 8 minutes of commercials and other stuff like that.
Yeah, and then the bumpers are what happens between the commercials and the cartoons. So like Adult Swim has bumpers, and Adult Swim, which moving on from the not moving on from the shows, but like this is Cartoon Network, so I'm going to mention it. That is the other thing that we will be talking about Adult Swim, but I'm going to talk about bumpers.
We're not really going to have like a lot of things to. Well, maybe
I will.
You will. I will.
I watch a lot
have,
of Adult Swim.
I will have basically. I will have things to say about Toonami, but not really about Adult Swim though.
Okay, but yeah. So apparently, now this is something that happened to me as a kid, where Adult Swim would come on, and they designed the bumpers intentionally to be fucking creepy.
Of course.
Like, super creepy. And they're like, yeah, we designed them this way so children would stop watching. And that's why I stopped watching Adult Swim, because you would be watching Cartoon Network and all of a sudden it would be dead fucking silence with the most creepy fucking image you've ever seen in your life popping up. And I'm like, this is terrifying. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning. This is the witching hour. I'm gonna get fucking dragged to hell by Satan if I keep watching this shit.
Well, then they did their job.
Yeah. I was like, they worked. I just wanted to mention that while bumpers were brought up real fast.
So I think, honestly, Total Drama was like, there was a period of time when Cartoon Network was trying to appeal more to a teenage audience. Because, like, you know, like Disney and Nickelodeon both had, like, oh, we have shows for kids and for teenagers. So, you know, we had Total Drama, you had, like, Young Justice and Green Lantern, you had Ben 10 Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. Like, there were these, and then, like, the live-action shows they had, which I hated.
I love them.
But they were trying to, like, appeal to also a teenage audience. But the problem was, Cartoon Network only had the one channel.
Yeah.
So they couldn't, like, divide their programs across multiple things. Everything just had to be on Cartoon Network. And I think it was, like, the reason why they pivoted so hard into, like, just, like, you know, Teen Titans Go and all these different things that they've done that are just really, really popular and, like, exclusively for kids, I think is as a consequence of that. But I think that's one of the reasons why we have, like, Cartoon Network nowadays with such, like, small children cartoons and nothing really for older audiences, because I feel like they tried for a while in the 2010s to, like, have teenage cartoon or, like, TV shows, and it just killed their ratings.
Oh, absolutely.
So as a result, they're like, nothing for older audiences, just kids. That's what we know we can get money from.
Yeah. Okay. This is repeats of ended programming.
So it's just
this is going to be a very different jump in time.
That are airing, but no longer have new episodes being produced.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going all the way back to 1976.
What the hell?
With the Scooby-Doo show.
I think that's on Boomerang, but sure.
Well, repeats of ended programming. That's just what it says. The
Are
Scooby-Doo show.
Are they still playing the original Scooby-Doo?
Yes, they are.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they're the original Scooby-Doo. Now, I have seen quite a few of the Scooby-Doo shows.
Not really much to
Aaron
say.
hasn't really seen as many as I have, but he has seen most of the ones that I have.
I've seen snippets of at least all of them.
So the OG Scooby-Doo show I did watch. I watched it all the way through.
Not really much to say about
Pretty
it,
boring.
honestly.
Pretty boring.
It was the 70s.
Yeah, it was the 70s, so, you know, boring cartoons in general, but a lot more creepy than modern Scooby-Doo.
It was a mystery show.
Did you know that this is an actual fact? The original pilot for Scooby-Doo got the show canceled initially.
What?
Because it was deemed too scary for children and even some adults.
Interesting.
So they had to completely redo the pilot because apparently it was too horrifying.
All right. All right.
Yeah, I found that out. That I could be wrong. It could be hashtag fake news, but I think it's an interesting little snippet.
That is interesting. Like,
obviously,
it was a formula, as most cartoons back in the 70s were.
Obviously, depending on when this video comes out. I mean, this video will come out before those other videos come out, but you will see that me and Aaron do appreciate and enjoy Scooby-Doo in general, like as a concept.
I think you can definitely get more out of a Scooby-Doo movie than, like, 22-minute episodes.
Yeah,
or God forbid,
with, like, 2 exceptions.
God forbid, an 11-minute episode.
Yeah, with 2 exceptions. I think there's 2 exceptions, which is 2 actually really good Scooby-Doo shows. And that is What's New Scooby-Doo, just because the animation quality was good. You know, the writing for the episodes was actually really good. The music was good.
Didn't Simple Plan do the...
Simple Plan did, like, all of the music for that show. They were characters in that show.
Oh, interesting.
They were actually in the first episode. And Mystery Incorporated, which is just like, it is a good story show with a developing plot over 2 seasons.
I watched 2 episodes of Mystery Incorporated.
Don't disappoint me.
I don't like that Velma and Shaggy are dating.
Why?
It's bad.
They don't stay dating.
No, but that doesn't make it good.
But it's fine.
Well, like
It's not the first time that they've dated.
No, what? I don't care. The premise that literally the creators of the show came out was like, the reason why Shaggy and Velma's relationship was so awkward is because Velma was always written as a lesbian in that show. So her relationship with Shaggy was like a lesbian trying to date a straight man.
Ha!
To the pinnacle moment where she forces Shaggy to choose between her and his dog, and he chooses his dog. So it's like.
I mean, I would choose my dog over any girl any day.
But it's still a thing where it's like, I never got the feeling that Shaggy actually liked Velma in the 2 episodes. He was always like trying to like avoid her. I get the feeling that she like bullied him into dating her, and he just can't say no because he doesn't have a spine. So it's really uncomfortable to watch. I just really did not like it.
I like Fred in that show. Fred is really
Fred
good.
is fine. Fred, Shaggy, Daphne, like all of them are fine. I don't like Velma in Mystery Incorporated.
I just think you don't like Velma.
I like Velma and other stuff.
It seems like every time you have an issue with a Scooby-Doo anything, it's usually Velma.
Where are you getting that from?
Just a lot of stuff that we've talked about in the past just seems like you've always had an issue with Velma specifically.
Where are you getting that from?
Conversations we've had in the past.
The only issue I ever remember having with Velma is specifically Mystery Incorporated Velma.
Well, I know you hate, which I do too, but, what's it called? When someone doubts something's existence.
Oh, with her being like, oh, this is a mystery show, and we look for mysteries, and the person who was this, like, the scientist is like, oh, ghosts aren't real, you guys. Oh, you think this spooky stuff is real? You're idiots. It's like having a cartoon, a mystery cartoon, and having one of the main characters look at the spooky thing and go, that's not real. Why are you in this show? Skeptic. They made Velma the resident skeptic, and it's a bad decision in my opinion.
Yeah. Dude, we are 42 minutes into this, and we haven't even gotten past current programming.
I told you this is gonna be a long one.
Oh no, dude, we're getting into the big shit now.
Well, the thing is about Velma really is, in earlier stuff, she was a nothing character, just like Daphne and Fred were.
Yeah.
And then, like, you had the 90s...
Where she didn't exist.
No, because that was in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
That was with the 13 Ghosts.
Yeah, where it was just
Daphne.
Daphne.
It was Scooby, Shaggy, Scrappy, Daphne, and Flim Flam.
I'm like, why Daphne?
Because girl.
I guess
she was the pretty one.
Yeah.
And in that show, you didn't really need a smart one.
I do. Should I save that for the Scooby-Doo? I'm just gonna say it here, and we'll repeat it. I do kind of like the 13 Ghosts movie, bringing back to that, where it's like, oh yeah, Fred was in like cheerleading camp.
Remember that summer you were in science camp?
Yeah.
Flim Flam. You sold us all those bottles of snake oil that we got rid of during the garage sale. We ever mentioned Flim Flam?
It's just like they're like trying to like bring up. The thing I don't like is that they're like, yeah, all those ghosts, yeah, they weren't actually real.
Well, that's the thing that Scooby-Doo, for some reason, like modern Scooby-Doo keeps doing, is like, you know this previous thing that we did that had like canonical ghosts and stuff? Actually, no, it's not actually.
I'm gonna save the rest of this for the Scooby-Doo one.
Well, we're specifically talking about Scooby-Doo shows, though.
Yeah.
And this is something that Scooby-Doo shows have been doing.
Yeah.
Like, remember the Scooby-Doo and Supernatural crossover?
I love that.
You like Supernatural.
I'm pretty sure that's a Supernatural episode, not a Scooby-Doo episode.
But it's a crossover.
But it is a crossover.
Yeah.
And it's so funny.
Like,
whenever you get Dean and Sam, who are these characters that like murder people and cuss all the time in Scooby-Doo, and then Dean just being like, hey Sam, look what I can do, and he just like eats a whole burger in one bite.
Have you seen that film theory about like MatPat explaining the Scooby-Doo timeline?
Dude, no.
It's pretty funny.
Dude, it's more complicated than the FNAF timeline.
Well, he literally uses that episode of Supernatural to like differentiate Scooby-Doo that doesn't have Supernatural and Scooby-Doo that does have Supernatural. It's because that episode of Supernatural is what made Supernatural things actually possible in Scooby-Doo.
Oh, shit.
And then, like, like Cyber Chase, like some of these shows, like with Shaggy being a red shirt. Well, that's not really them. That's like fake Shaggy and like the video games.
I have seen that.
Yeah.
Now I remember. I remember after you brought up that point. I remembered. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of like stuff.
Yeah.
Go back and watch it from I've had stuff. Like I didn't really watch film theory that often, honestly.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo, the Scooby-Doo show I watched the most. A pup named Scooby-Doo.
Woo! Yeah. A pup named Scooby-Doo.
I liked A Pup Named Scooby-Doo.
Let's go.
I did. I liked it.
A Pup Named Scooby-Doo was where it was at. I remember as a kid, as sitting at my aunt's house in Houston, and just hearing that freaking theme song playing in the background and running in from the pool.
A pup named Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo,
yeah.
Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo, where are you? Scooby-Doo, ba-doo, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I love A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, and honestly, like, I went back and started rewatching some of those episodes.
Yeah.
They still hold up. Mm-hmm. Like, animation, no.
Well, Scooby-Doo is a concept, could potentially be done like any age.
Exactly. And that's why I still think if you have never seen Scooby-Doo, like, there's 3 shows I would suggest you watching. Start off with What's New Scooby-Doo, because it gives you that basic formula of what Scooby-Doo is meant to be. It's basically
the 70s version, but with updated graphics.
Updated graphics and storytelling.
And writing, yeah.
So, and if you want to watch, and after that, I would watch Mystery Incorporated.
If you want something with
a little bit more story.
A little more plot.
And plot. And watch A Pup Named Scooby-Doo just to have fun.
Just for the fun.
Yeah, just for the fun of it. Because, like, it is hilarious.
I do think Scooby-Doo is definitely one of those shows that's meant for, like, more, like all ages.
Absolutely.
A Pup Named Scooby-Doo was definitely
for kids.
Geared for a younger audience. And then you had that one with the puppets. We're going to talk about that one right here.
We're not going to talk about that one here.
But, like 93 nuts! Yeah, no, but, like, that's definitely the Scooby-Doo cartoon that I watched the most, was A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, and I liked it.
Yeah. Moving on to the big boys. We're on the big boys. How these are still showing.
This is still current programming.
Number 1 most viewed television show in Cartoon Network history. Adventure Time.
I've never watched a full episode of Adventure Time.
I have. And oh my god, that show gave me nightmares. Like, the first episode I ever saw. Now, Aaron knows this about me. As an adult, I have 0 issues with zombies. But as a child, I had a huge fear of zombies and anything to do with the dead. And so when I watched my first episode of Adventure Time, which was the fucking zombie episode, I was terrified and could not watch another episode for a while. But even not including that, the horrible imagery in every fucking episode of that show. Because it's like you had the episode with the elephant lady who cooked pies, and they had to steal apples from like dead people or something. And then you have the Lich, which is like a whole thing in and of itself. And the other thing with Adventure Time is like they have like horrible things happening to this child. Like, for one, all humanity was genocided. Like, all of humanity was genocided. Finn is the last human. Besides maybe Ice King. Not entirely sure how that works.
He's cursed.
Yeah, he's cursed. So, like, I'm not entirely sure if Ice King is actually human, or if he's just a person that looks human, or looked human. Now, there is a lot of stuff that happens, like, makes me want to rewatch Adventure Time all the way through, to then watch the new Adventure Time series that came out on HBO Max, because there's a lot of, like, really good moments delving into the backstories of a lot of these different characters. One other thing that I need to say about Adventure Time that I will never get to say anywhere else, Princess Bubblegum is a and she just I can get bleeped. I'll say it again. Princess Bubblegum is a Here's the thing, right? Finn has been in love with this girl for years. Now, she is older than Finn, so she's like, I can't date you. I'm older than you, blah, blah, blah. Fine. Whatever. That's fine. I'm totally okay with that. And then she becomes younger, through shit happening. And then it's like, oh, she's the same age as Finn now. And it's like, well, she still doesn't want to date him. Several seasons in, Finn finally gets over her and starts falling in love with Flame Princess. And then Princess Bubblegum starts sabotaging that relationship because she's like, no, I don't want you to be with her. And he's like, and Jake, who is like trying to stop Princess Bubblegum from interfering, he's like, how dare you? How dare you? My brother has been after you for years, and you didn't even give him the time of day. But now that he's happy with someone else, all of a sudden you care? You need to stay out of his life. And I'm like, yes, finally someone fucking says it. Like, Jake is real homeboy. Like, he is brother, where is brother B, you know?
Yes, but also Jake gives a lot of shitty advice.
He does. He does make a lot of shitty decisions and has a lot of bad advice for Finn. But to be fair, a lot of the advice that he gives would work for Jake. They just won't work for Finn.
Yeah, because Jake is a magical dog.
Yeah, exactly. Now Finn, he ends up single and alone because the show writers are just like, fuck this boy. Let's make him miserable, I guess.
Yeah, and then we're gonna make Bubblegum and Marceline a couple.
Yeah, which them being gay, I have no problem with. Like,
if it's a well-written relationship, whatever.
Yeah, like, that's fine. It's just, I feel like they should give Finn, like,
and, like, canonically, like, you know, they die.
Yeah, they all die.
They all die, and we see them literally in the afterlife, and Finn is like...
Yeah, I'm completely in favor of Finn, the ship. Now, I don't really ship a lot of characters, but I do ship Finn and the Hunter Princess.
I've never seen the show, so I couldn't really tell you.
She's like a... One second. You know what? It doesn't really matter. You're not going to watch the show.
No, I'm not.
So I ship Finn and that Hunter Princess girl, which if anyone here watches Adventure Time, they'll know who I'm talking about, and most of them will probably know why I ship them, because they do actually have a mutual relationship with each other that's actually pretty interesting. I shipped Finn with Flame Princess, but, like, there was no way that was ever going to work unless Finn got the same curse as Ice King, because, you know, she kept burning him every time they would interact.
Yeah.
So it's like, the couple was great. The way they broke up was fucking stupid. Because, like I said, they just have this thing of making Finn miserable for no reason. Like, especially, like, after he loses his arm.
There's only one cartoon breakup that I've seen that probably would make me angrier.
Which one?
We'll get to it.
Huh?
We'll get to it.
Okay. Up next is another Titan on Cartoon Network. Regular Show.
I have not seen Regular Show. I hate Regular Show. Like, it's unlike Adventure Time, whereas, like, you know what, I'm not really a huge fan of the sense of humor. Like, there's some vomiting on there. It's kind of gross. I'm just not gonna watch it. Regular Show. Oh!
Zamboni.
Like, Mad Dragon loved Regular Show.
I love Regular
Show. And he
Show.
would quote it to me a lot.
I quote it to Mad Dragon all the time.
Like, you and Mad Dragon can have all the fun in the world watching Regular Show, and like, that's great. Good for you guys. I'm glad you can bond over that. I fucking despise the show. It's annoying. It's mean-spirited. The main characters are idiots. I don't like Regular Show.
I think it has a lot of good character-driven plot, you know, that happens. Like, it is one of those things where each episode is its own individual story that has an overarching plot that happens in later seasons, you know, as it gets progressively more into the storytelling aspect of the cartoon. But me and Mad Dragon are huge fans of Regular Show, and we quote it back and forth to each other all the time. Literally all the time. We will talk to each other and we'll be quoting fucking Regular Show. Because me and Mad Dragon have binge watched that show several times while, you know, eating pizza in a friend's apartment. So, huge fan of Regular Show. I like the character development of Mordecai and Rigby, specifically more Rigby over Mordecai. Because Mordecai, I like so like they're doing the whole thing where it's like, okay, these are two guys in their like 20s, right? With a small job that's just meant to get them by, right? This gives them free housing. They don't get paid a lot, but they get paid enough to survive. as it progresses, you see the character development of Mordecai and Rigby, and things change a lot where they're actually, you know, they grow as people. Now, Mordecai starts, like, for example, Mordecai, everyone knows, falls in love with Margaret at the beginning of the series, and then, like, eventually he starts to get over Margaret, and he starts dating CJ. And then he cheats on CJ with Margaret. Well, not cheats, but, like, CJ finds out, like, he's still in love with Margaret. And so they break up, and he kind of still, and then eventually he's like, and Margaret does something mean to him, like very mean. And I'm like, I'm not even going to go into that because that actually really pissed me off, what she did to him. But at the end, he finally lets her go, and I'm like, good, finally, he lets her go. And at the end of the series, because in this series, like, they're like, oh, because Rigby and Eileen get together in, like, the 5th season, and they stay together. They just stay together, and they get married, they have kids at the end of the show. Like, they are a good couple, and they stay a good couple, even though initially Rigby didn't really like Eileen, just because Rigby didn't like girls. he was just kind of childish. But, like, as he grew older, he became a really good boyfriend and a really good husband and a really good dad, apparently. But, like, Mordecai doesn't get with someone until the very, very end of the series, like the last episode. And it's like, it was like they were trying to show this point, like, well, this love story doesn't always happen like this.
Yeah.
Love can come from anywhere at any time.
Yeah.
And he just meets someone, he becomes a famous artist, and he just meets someone at one of his art shows. And that's the character. That's introduced in the last episode. You know, obviously in the last season they're on space, and they're doing the space station thing where they're fighting Pop's evil twin, and Pop sacrifices his life to destroy his evil twin. And they build a statue of Pops in the park.
I'm sure this all makes sense in context.
It all makes sense in context.
Because here, he's obviously it's in space. I'm like, what?
Yes, the final season takes place. The park gets turned into a spaceship and floating in space.
Sure.
Yeah. It all makes sense in context, but it has character arcs, and those character arcs are good. And I thoroughly enjoy watching regular show because it's one of those shows that I can sit down and binge watch anytime I want. You know how? So, anyone who knows me knows that I'm a truck driver, and so what I'll often do is I'll have a TV show playing in my earbud. I don't even watch it. I just have it playing in my earbud, the sound.
Well, shows that you've seen before.
Shows that I've seen before. And regular show is one of those ones that I'll just have playing in the background because I've seen it enough. I can hear what's going on and picture what is happening in my head from the screen. So I obviously thoroughly enjoy regular show, and I enjoy the character arcs that they go through, especially Rigby. Like, it's very interesting. And I am a fan. I know Aaron isn't as much of a fan of this as I am, but I am a fan of just stupid, wacky hijinks.
Well, like, literally we said in the childhood TV show podcast with Ryan, like, the thing we want out of cartoons are shenanigans. And, you know, shows like Teen Titans Go and regular show are shows that have shenanigans. It's just the flavor of shenanigan is different for each show, and people have different tastes.
Exactly. Well, let's move on to the next one, which is another show that I love and Aaron hates.
Oh, man.
Steven Universe.
Yeah, I watched a couple episodes of Steven Universe and just...
Okay, so the main reason why I love Steven Universe is because OC designs, for one, and for two, the music. Like, I love the music. The music is probably the most interesting thing to me, way more than the story. I do agree that the story gets a little too wah.
Well, we have an issue where we're presented with space totalitarianism, space fascism, in its most blatant design possible. We are shown exactly how this system of government runs and how it treats its citizens and those that are not its citizens. We are shown that these people are merciless monsters.
Yeah.
Let's woobify the space Nazis. Like, okay, how does season 1 end? Okay, so basically Jasper captures everybody, and, you know, it's the whole thing, and everyone, they're about to go to the home world to basically be destroyed. And so Steven breaks out, and he comes across Lapis. Oh, not Lapis. Lapis Lazuli. And she goes, Steven, you need to get out of here. You need to run. You can't fight them. He's like, but they're mean. They hurt my friends. They hurt my face. We have to stop them! So Steven goes from, oh, these guys are mean and bad, we need to fight them, to, oh, wait, I'm the reincarnation of Pink Diamond and Rose Quartz, the same person, would want to go down in history, one of the worst plot twists in any show, let alone cartoon, period. Oh, well, now I have to forgive my family and try to move on. So, you know what the diamonds essentially were?
What?
They were allegories for bad parenting.
Really?
They were an allegory for bad parents. And Steven was generational trauma. Now that's interesting, and I can appreciate that being done in a cartoon. Why space fascists for bad parenting?
You just peaked both mics.
Good. Good. If your story is about bad parenting and generational trauma, why are the stakes so goddamn high? It was like the showrunner wanted to have Star Wars with evil bad side, good side, no gray area, but then also wanted to be like, oh, I know, sometimes people make mistakes and we can make things better, and, you know, it's all about redemption, and, like, it's never too late for people. It's like, okay, that worked with Vader because you had Palpatine. You had an unrepentant villain that the redeemable one died to take out. That didn't happen in Steven Universe. You wanted a response? Oh, make Blue Diamond and Yellow Diamond the redeemable ones, and then take out White Diamond. But no, they just made them all.
I never met White Diamond.
You didn't get that far?
No.
Yeah, Steven Universe's writing is bad.
When I was watching Steven Universe, they only had the first 2 seasons on Hulu at the time, and I just, ever since then, I haven't been able to find all the seasons of Steven Universe in one place.
Steven Universe was just horrendously mishandled. Not by the studio, by its own creator.
Yeah. Rebecca Sugar is a good art designer.
Well, because she's an artist.
Yeah.
And she doesn't respect writers, which is why she didn't have any for Steven Universe.
Yeah, exactly. And she is not a good writer. Like, I like Steven Universe because I like the world of Steven Universe. Like, I like Steven. I like the character. I like the idea of the gems. I like the fusions, and I liked one of my things that I like doing would be like, oh, what's the next new fusion, you know, like that's what I liked about Steven Universe.
Well, there's 2 different kinds of cartoons. There's board driven and script driven, and Steven Universe was a board driven show where the artists go in and do storyboards, and basically that determines the plot of an episode. But it's Rebecca Sugar and David, other guy, who were the main, quote-unquote, writers of the show, didn't know what they were doing.
You know Rebecca Sugar wrote on Adventure Time, right?
Yeah, but she wasn't the showrunner.
Yeah.
She just worked on it. You want to know another TV show that was storyboard-driven?
What?
The first 3 seasons of SpongeBob.
Oh, really?
The first 3 seasons of SpongeBob were board-driven, and then it transitioned into a script-driven show.
Well, I think the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob were the best seasons.
Well, there are pros and cons to why you would do both. Like, for example, board-driven means that the artists are also essentially the writers. So they spend a lot more time, like, drawing and storyboarding. Whereas a script-driven show just allows the artists to just go wild, just adapting the script.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But Steven Universe, first of all, if you've ever seen Steven Universe's storyboards, they're awful. They look like they were written, like they were drawn on a napkin during somebody's lunch break, not like a dedicated staff. And you know why Steven Universe is like scaling for each of the characters are all over the place?
Why?
It's because of the storyboards. People don't use the model sheets. They just draw whatever they want, and the South Korean studio that animates Steven Universe doesn't have time for any of your shit. They will draw it exactly as it is storyboarded, and they will not correct anything. So you'll have episodes where Pearl is taller than Lapis, and then they're the exact same height. And you'll have versions of Connie, who looks like a normal teenage girl, and then teeny tiny chibi baby doll. That's why the art style is all over the place. It's because the storyboards are bad.
Yeah.
And they're written by not writers.
Yeah, I clearly, I might be talking a lot of shit as well about Steven Universe, but like, I do actually enjoy the series. I just understand that it is an inherently flawed series. And I think this is an important distinction, which I'm sure we've talked about in the previous podcast. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure we have. Like, I probably mentioned with Legend of Korra, that I understand the show. You don't have to, a show does not have to be a good or well-written show for you to enjoy the show.
No.
It just so happens that the more well-written or good a show is, the more enjoyable it will be to a mass audience.
Yeah, it's just the problem is the two shows you have examples for kind of really desperately needed good writing to really be good.
Yeah.
Do you want to know a show that didn't need to have good writing?
What?
Adventure Time. Regular show. These were more like wacky, zany kind of things that you can kind of have fun with. But Steven Universe and Listen to Korra were trying to send a message. But their writing was bad. So the message came out muddled at best.
I didn't even know there was a message.
Yes! There were allegories all over Steven Universe, like LGBT representation and all these things. Of course, that was representation in a trench coat, because it's an all-female race.
Yeah. you can't exactly be straight in a race that's all female.
Yeah, and they don't even reproduce like sexually. So.
Wasn't it the first gay marriage?
No, that was actually on Arthur.
Oh, was it Arthur?
Yeah, those Mr. Ratburn and his husband got married first, and then Steven Universe happened. Although I do give credit where it's like in a lot of regions, Ruby was voiced by a male. Like they turned Ruby into a guy in those. So whenever the wedding came around, they put Ruby in the wedding dress.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what?
Props.
I'll give you that one. You did one thing right at least.
Well, that's because Ruby was the more masculine one.
Well, sure, but like the whole thing about it is Ruby and Sapphire shows that Rebecca Sugar knows how to write a loving, healthy couple. It's just very convenient that they're Garnet most of the time, saving her the trouble of having to write said relationship.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you have the skill. We know you have the skill. Please use the skill.
Yeah, you know what?
Like they did it with She did it with Lapis and Peridot.
That relationship was really uncomfortable and menacing a lot of the time.
At the beginning.
Well, yeah,
it got better.
Well, yeah, you saw the episode where, like, you know, that Lapis finds out that, you know,
let's not talk
so
about
she
that.
grabs by the shoulder.
Let's not talk about
and how
that.
fucking sinister that scene is.
Let's not talk
where
about
the
that.
pumpkin dog whimpers and hides in the corner.
Let's not talk about that. Lapis is my favorite of the crystal gems.
Also, Lapis is just an abuser.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she was,
that explains why she's.
well, Lapis was first taking out her aggressions on Jasper. And whether you want to say that Jasper deserved it or not, but it doesn't change the fact that Lapis was abusing Jasper. So the story idea of an abuser realizing they were wrong and coming to be a better person is an interesting idea. We need to be careful how you write that. And it's kind of heavy for a kid's cartoon. So you really got to be careful, and it's got to be written pretty well.
Lapis is just my favorite character in the show.
I don't know, like, I think there were a lot of decent ideas in Steven Universe.
Jasper.
I just don't think they were, like, really done as well as they could have been. And also, Rebecca Sugar took every single opportunity she could to not tell her own story. Oh, you know how the diamonds are coming and that there's a war going on and the planet could explode because of the cluster? Let's have 3 episodes in a row about Lars hanging around in Beach City!
Yeah.
Do you know why in cartoons you have episodes that deviate from the main plot?
Filler?
Because they have an episode count they have to do. Problem with Steven Universe is, oh, we're gonna go on hiatus for 2 months. An entire week of all new episodes. We're going on hiatus for 2 months. Summer of Steven, 6 weeks of episodes. We're gonna go on hiatus for 3 years. So if you're on hiatus for months, why do you have filler? Why aren't you just telling the story?
That's an excellent question.
When you drop a literal entire year worth of content of a TV show and you burn through it in 6 weeks, well, maybe that's the reason why your show is losing viewership. I don't like Steven Universe. I think it was horrendously mishandled, and I didn't think it was that great to begin with. You like the show? Great. My sister loves Steven Universe, so I'm not really going to fight her over it. It's just these are the reasons why I personally can't really like it.
Remember, guys, it's not okay to punch a Nazi.
Jeez Louise.
Might cut that.
Yeah, no, it's like, oh, you know how relevant? Like, oh, you know, you shouldn't let bad people get away with bad things. You know how that really relevant topic nowadays? And Steven Universe said if you punch a Nazi, you are just as bad as the Nazi.
Yeah.
That's not good. Say what you want about violence against violence, but, like, telling somebody that you're just as bad as another person who does horrendous things just because you don't let that person do the horrendous things, that's not good.
Yeah. Anyways, that was a very long tangent that I appreciate, but we're moving on to We Bare Bears.
I've never seen it.
What
I saw? I saw a YouTube video about them taking the We Bare Bear intro and making it the Link's Four-Sword Adventure with the little Toon Links, but in place of the bears. And I thought that was cute. I've never seen anything else with the show.
We Bare Bears is definitely a fine show for children.
Is cartoon.
It's not bad. It's not amazing. It made money.
We baby bears.
Moving on to Summer Camp Island. Apparently it's like Camp Laszlo, but like modern.
Oh.
But it's not the Laszlo characters.
No,
like,
because they're not animals.
Yeah. No, they are animals.
They are?
Yeah.
Whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's Summer Camp Island.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not total drama.
Alright.
Which is what I thought it was when I heard Summer Camp Island.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Alright, Warner Bros. Animation.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, The Looney Tunes Show.
That one's a little divisive.
I fucking love it, man. I love, like, literally watching that growing up. Like, you know the fucking songs that they did, like Grilled Cheese and shit?
Grilled cheese?
Grilled Cheese? Yeah, that's what it was. It was Grilled Cheese. It was, what's his face? The one that can't say R's.
Elmer Fudd?
Yeah. He would be singing about how his favorite thing ever is grilled cheeses. And it was a song all about that. And I was like, bro, this show was fantastic.
I preferred whenever they had the little Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote little cartoons instead of the songs on the end.
I like them both. So, like, but the Looney Tunes show, where it actually has, like, it has some of my favorite moments from Looney Tunes history. Like, the time where Daffy is just like, he's like, I remember your credit card information, Bugs. I remembered something. And then he starts screaming out his credit card info. And he's like, no.
So I think Bugs made that transition fairly seamless. Daffy's character is pretty intact. He's just more of a jackass, but like, you know, that's with a character for him. Porky.
You cannot make Lola her original characterization in a kid's show.
I did not like what they did with her anyway.
Yeah, I know, but you cannot direct translate Lola's original character.
Well, to be fair, she didn't really have a character originally.
Her original character was...
You know what you could have done?
What?
We did with Babs!
Yeah, I guess.
But you didn't have to make her literally psychotic.
I kind of like it.
I didn't.
I mean, it's my type, so... You know.
I didn't like how they just turned Taz into a dog. I didn't like how they made Gossamer a literal child. I didn't like what they did with the witch lady.
I thought it was all fun.
I didn't like those things.
I mean, it has some of my favorite episodes, like the example of, like, any time where it's Bugs and Lola going out is absolutely hilarious. It's like, I saw you with a woman. That was me.
I don't know. Like, when you said, like, you can't use the whole thing with Lola, I'm like, okay.
You can't direct translate Lola because her original characterization was Sexy Bunny.
Yeah, but as if that is an excuse to be like, so you have to like this. Like, no.
No, I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm saying you can't direct translate.
No, but it's like, remember,
you can't complain that it's not a direct translation.
No, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the characters are slightly tweaked. Like I said, like Bugs is probably Bugs and Porky are probably the ones that are like the least changed. It's just the world around Bugs is like, you know, shifted, so he's the same. Everything else has changed. So like how he interacts with the world is different because that's just how. Like Bugs was very reactionary. Usually he'd do something fairly, like he'd be minding his own business or doing something like by himself, and then some jackhole would show up and get in his way, and Bugs would go, all right, wise guy, and then things would happen. So Bugs just being like a normal guy and like a mostly normal world. Yeah, that tracks. And then Daffy's just,
insane.
He's pretty crazy, but like he's honestly just more of a jerk.
I like that episode where they were like Daffy joined the Marines and had to rescue Bugs Bunny from an Iraqi prison.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I did see the episode though where they both went to jail though, and Daffy hated it, but Bugs was having a grand old time being locked up in prison.
Yeah, so like literally Bugs got locked up in an Iraqi prison, right? And Daffy thought that Bugs was kicking him out of the house, so he left to join the Marines, even though that's not what was happening. And then he goes to save him. He's freaking firing like M16 at like Iraqi soldiers, and he throws a grenade. And he's like, "I'm here to rescue you." He's like, "You joined the Marines?" And he's like, "Yeah, you kicked me out of the house." He's like, "I never kicked you out of the house."
I should have.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, it was amazing. Like, it has so many good moments from that show. I could sit and watch an entire like 30-minute video.
I mean, it was literally just Looney Tunes as a sitcom.
Yeah, literally, and I loved it. Like, I absolutely loved it. And I think Looney Tunes Show, if you have not seen it, you may or may not like it.
Yeah.
But I think Looney Tunes Show is one of those ones that if you have not seen it, you absolutely should give it a shot. 100%. If you like Looney Tunes, at least watch it. Like, watch the first couple of episodes and then determine from there.
Yeah, like I said, like I just didn't like how far they took Luna. Not because it's like, oh, she's not accurate. It's like, I just didn't like the characterization.
Oh, dude, I love psychotic girls.
No, but it's like really funny when it was like when like Bugs interacting with her parents.
Yeah.
And he's trying to be like, oh man.
Yeah. She is very cuckoo.
I mean, there were fun episodes of Looney Tunes. I just always hated it when Lola showed up. I did not like those episodes.
I almost exclusively loved it when Lola showed up.
Yeah.
And then you had Daffy's girlfriend.
Yeah, I loved her. She's like, I'm not putting up with your shit. Okay. All right.
She's like, Daffy, I will smack the shit out of you.
Yeah.
It's like Daisy and Donald is really what it's like, except for like. It's like later Daisy and Donald.
I don't
like
know.
Early Daisy was just kind of like girly, and that was it. But later Daisy was like, I will fuck your shit up if you do not stop right now.
Yeah.
And she is the perfect foil for Daffy as a relationship.
She just doesn't put up with the shit.
Yeah, exactly. She's like,
it's like, all right, when you're done having your panic attack, call me. Until that's over, I don't care.
I'm leaving. Perfect. Absolutely love her.
The episode where like he finds out he's a bump on his bill, so he gets plastic surgery, like shaves it down to like just his teeth. It's like, so what's the special occasion? Pulls the newspaper down. I'm the special occasion. What happened to your face?
I love that, man. I need to go back and rewatch some of these shows, like a lot of these ones, like especially Looney Tunes show.
I think it's
know what?
The episode where
you know what?
What?
It's going on the list.
Right. Where like Donald like he had such a horrendous time in high school. Like he like Mandela affected himself, like in the place of Porky, who was like the football captain, top of the food chain, like later nerds, whatever, but like it was him. And Bugs apparently went with Daffy to the high school reunion because apparently Bugs didn't get to go to high school because at a young age he just like ran into success, so he just didn't get to finish it. It's like, so he showed up and he's like, don't worry, Daff, I'm here for you. Are those lockers?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's like there are things to like in the Looney Tunes show. It's just if the episode was on and it didn't knock me off within the first 5 minutes, I would watch it. But it's not something I would like, oh, Looney Tunes show, I need to watch this. It was just like if it was on, I would see, and then if I didn't like turn it off, and if it did, I would watch.
All right, moving on to.
Is that still showing?
Yeah.
That's weird. Like that they're still showing the Looney Tunes show. That's interesting. Huh.
And then you have so for the Looney Tunes, I'm just gonna count the Looney Tunes show separately from regular Looney Tunes.
Yeah, because they are different.
For this next one, we're just talking about all of them, and that's Tom and Jerry.
Oh,
because Tom and Jerry is Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
There is quote unquote different iterations.
Well, there's like the Tom and Jerry show.
Movies.
There was like.
Yeah, so but Tom and Jerry is Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
And Tom and Jerry is one of those just like I want to sit down and not think about anything cartoons, except for the few times where they're like, yeah, let's commit suicide by standing in front of a train after a woman breaks my heart.
Sitting on the train tracks.
Yeah, after a woman breaks my heart.
Yeah.
And then it fades to black. black as you hear train horns honking.
Yeah. I definitely thought, like, early Tom and Jerry, where they were still drawn more like actual cat and a mouse, not great, but it was the early days.
Dude, 60s Tom and Jerry was probably my favorite.
That's like the really early days, though.
Yeah.
So, I liked it more where, like, I couldn't tell you an era, honestly. I liked Tom and Jerry. I liked it a lot. Whenever I'd be homesick from school, like, oh, an hour of Tom and Jerry? Let's go!
Yeah, exactly. So, like, Tom and Jerry is one of those shows, like, there's not much you can say about it. Everyone knows Tom and Jerry. If you're 70 years old or 12 years old, you know Tom and Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of...
I mean, it's one of those big things like, oh, the cartoon violence, the mouse with the gun.
Whatever. Now, I'll tell you this. I cannot watch two things, and that is Tom and Jerry. They're movies, but they're still made by Warner Brothers.
The one where they talk?
Well, the Tom and Jerry movie is fine. The one where they talk, it's fine. I watched it quite a bit as a kid because
But there's a more recent one that came out.
Yeah, there's a more recent one, but like I'm talking about the original one. But
I've actually never seen it.
The Fast and the Furious one.
Yeah, there were other.
I cannot watch that because again, the same reason. The reason why I can't watch We're Back or the B movie, because like every time my younger brother got to pick the movie, it was always the B movie, Tom and Jerry, or We're Back, and so now I hate those movies.
That sucks. Cause the racing one actually was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Because there's also one where like the magic ring gets stuck on Jerry's head. There's the one where like they go to Mars.
Well, the people just die. People just die in that series.
Yes.
In that movie.
Yes.
They just straight dead.
Guy just gets antimatter and just like
just dies.
Just ceases
to exist. Yeah. I'm like, this is terrifying.
Yeah. I love Tom and Jerry. I love classic Looney Tunes. There's a lot of Looney Tunes. Like, I watched, like, all, like, 32 whatever seasons of it on HBO Max a while ago. And
Wow!
Yeah, and at a certain point, it kind of just becomes whatever. But, like, there's that beautiful golden time of just, like, this is all funny. Looney Tunes is definitely one of those things that I think just doesn't age.
Yeah, no.
The concept, you can always bring it back.
Exactly.
Hence why I said, like, the newer ones they made, like, a few, I don't know how long ago.
The new Looney Tunes show was the next one.
Well, yeah, where it's just Looney Tunes again, but, like, new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it holds up. It's good. It's funny. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Looney Tunes is just one of those ones you can just sit and watch, like Tom and Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
And you sit, watch, and just let it do its thing.
Yeah, it's literally just there to make you laugh for 11 minutes.
That's what I was saying. Like, Looney Tunes is one of those ones that you can kind of separate between the shows. Like some of them, like you have like the new Looney Tunes show and Looney Tunes are the same exact show, just different eras.
Yes.
The
Looney Tunes show
is very different from Looney Tunes.
Yes.
So next up is we're gonna skip this one because it's Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. When we talked about Scooby-Doo, we just talked about all Scooby-Doo shows.
Lump them all in there.
All right, we're down to upcoming programming.
Oh,
so
no.
we'll see if we have any opinions on it.
Uh-oh. Stopping mid-sentence by looking at some of these makes me scared.
Okay, so we have Invincible Fight Girl.
Okay.
Ianu Child of Wonder.
Alright.
Adventure Time Side Quests. Woohoo! We're getting another Adventure Time series. Untitled regular show spinoff. Let's fucking go! Mad Dragon is gonna be so excited to hear about this. Doesn't have an official announced date yet, or a release date yet, but probably 2025. Foster's Fun Time for Imaginary Friends.
Ooh!
That's a preschool. It's a preschool show. Go Go Mystery Machine. I'm assuming that's Scooby-Doo. Be kind of dumb if it wasn't. Hey BMO, which is
BMO from
Adventure Time.
Yeah.
A Wobbler Project. I don't know what that is. Totally Spies Revival.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna wait till we get to Totally Spies in and of itself, but like the fact that they're reviving that, and it's not a reboot. It's a revive, which means they're just going to continue the original series, which makes me happy. Barney's World, Dylan's Playtime Adventures, and Silly Sundays. None of those mean anything to any of us.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next one indicates the program Boomerang, indicates Adult Swim. Okay, and Toonami. Okay, so they should be listed on here.
Alright.
So this is gonna go probably in order of release date.
Almost assuredly.
From 1993 up.
Yeah.
So first of all, Cartoon Network Studios original programming.
Okay.
The Moxie Show. I have no idea what that is. Never heard of it. You? Nope. Okay. Moving on. What a Cartoon. Never heard of it?
No.
Nope. No. Moving on. Up to 1996.
Okay.
Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah, so they definitely skipped all the Hanna-Barbera stuff, but that might be in a different section. That or they just Hanna-Barbera is just like Hanna-Barbera Studios will be like its own like different Wikipedia,
It's its own thing.
Wikipedia page. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. No, it'll be its own thing on.
Oh, it's still on this one. Okay.
Because this is original programming made by Cartoon Network.
Okay, so Hanna-Barbera Studios will be its own section. All right.
So Dexter's Laboratory. Obviously, a lot of those 90s Cartoon Network shows in early 2000s. Well, more so you more than me. Like, obviously, we watched them, but like, you know, you were born in what, 97, and I was born in 2000. So a lot of these came out when we were like still like before preschool.
So we were watching like reruns.
Yeah, we were watching reruns. We did watch them, but we weren't watching them as they were coming out, and there was other shows. Dexter's Laboratory is something that I did have a lot of fun watching, just because I loved the accent of Dexter.
Get into my laboratory!
I hated Dee Dee.
Yeah, no, she was
for the same reasons.
She was a menace.
Yeah, for the same reasons I hate Drake and Josh's sister. Like, I'm like, why do you exist? Why do you torture them for no reason?
Because then there would be no plot to episodes, because Dee Dee has to show up and fuck everything up.
Exactly.
Because it's not like Jimmy Neutron, where like Dexter like fucks up every episode with his inventions.
Yeah, no.
I mean, sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
But like usually Dexter is smart enough to like just not have problems.
Yeah.
Unless like Malcazar, the other kid.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha. Okay, he laughed like that.
Yeah.
Unless he was the villain for an episode, like it was almost usually Dee Dee.
Yeah, it was almost always Dee Dee.
Of course, you've seen that where it's like Johnny tests sisters, and then Johnny is like, it's like, I knew it. We all switched at birth. I knew my sisters. Like the genius redheads and
Yeah.
the wild blondes.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, that makes too much sense.
A little bit, yeah. We don't really have much to say about Dexter's Laboratory. Obviously, we liked it.
It was fine.
It was, but like, you know, it was just didn't watch it as much as some other ones.
Yeah,
Like that's, a lot of those 90 ones is gonna be like that.
It was fine.
Johnny Bravo. You were way too prepared for that. You were way too prepared for that.
I figured that was gonna be the next one because of the time era.
Bro. Okay, so like obviously big fan of Johnny Bravo. Do you know Johnny Bravo is like 15?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. He's like 15.
Man.
And it's like he's hitting on all these like 30-year-old women, and I'm like, okay, this makes a little more sense, but also like you're abusing a 15-year-old, ladies. Like, a 15-year-old asks you out doesn't mean you go fucking punching them.
Well, in some of the cases, he put his hands on her. So
yeah, but like, still a child.
It's better than
he is a child.
Better than him macing her. Them macing him.
Fair enough. I'm gonna punch you into the fucking ground.
He never takes it personally. He just gets back up.
I know, and that's what I love about Johnny Bravo. He's like, this man gets rejected all the time, and he's just like, wow, time to move on.
Well, he kind of has that like Barney energy, like How I Met Your Mother Barney.
Yeah.
Whereas like. The thing about him like trying to hit on all these women is like a psychological thing.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
He went through something traumatizing at a young age, and he's trying to like compensate for it.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, so I'm hot.
Yeah. So surface reading of Johnny Bravo, it's kind of a creepy show, but if you actually watch it and find out like the ins and outs of the characters like that, you're like, oh,
he's the victim.
Yeah, this is actually kind of sad.
Obviously. Had a lot of fun watching it. I love the interactions that they always had between Johnny Bravo and Velma.
Yeah, on the thing where it's like they were dating for a period.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, I like it.
Well, they made a joke about like every time like Johnny is like looking into her eyes, it's just him looking at his own reflection in her glasses.
I love that they did this little thing. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. There was this little comic of like Johnny Bravo and Samurai Jack.
Oh.
Yeah, where they're just like it's like, you know, hey, like they're like, hey, how's it going? And you know, like later, and it shows them as they're older, and Johnny's lost his hair and Jack's lost his sword, and he's like, where's your hair? Or where's your sword? He's like, where's your hair?
Which is funny because in the Samurai Jack continuation, he actually does lose
His sword.
katana.
Yeah. So like, obviously, I'm a big fan of Johnny Bravo, and seeing him interact with other characters.
I don't think
fun.
I ever actually watched a full cartoon of it.
Oh, I did.
I
all
just
the
watched
time.
such segments.
Next up, I didn't know that was on Cartoon Network. Cow and Chicken.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Cow and Chicken.
Cow and Chicken was a tamer Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
And as a result, wasn't as interesting.
Yeah, well, I hated Ren and Stimpy, you know, so.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, whatever.
I Am Weasel. I didn't watch it.
I've
I
never
know the
actually
show.
seen an episode of it, but I do know the show.
Now we're moving on to one of the other biggest fucking cartoons to ever come out of Cartoon Network. The Powerpuff Girls.
Yep.
Hello, it's the Powerpuff Girls.
The city is saved thanks to
The Powerpuff Girls. It's fine.
The city of Townsville is now on Boomerang. I remember that playing all the time because they're telling you the Powerpuff Girls is on Boomerang. It's like,
Yeah, like, I thought the villains were all really interesting.
they were 5 years old.
Yeah.
The Powerpuff Girls were 5 years old. Don't worry, Professor. My parents say I was an accident too.
You know, I find it...
Actual line.
I know.
In the episode.
Like, because you have, like, the transvestite gay
him?
lobster man.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, and I'm just like... And then you have the invisible man with an invisible sex slave.
What? I don't remember.
You
that.
didn't know that?
I remember that.
Yeah,
one.
that's an actual thing. Like the guy, the one of the guys is an invisible pimp, and he's carrying around something with a leash and a spiked collar. And most kids probably thought it was a dog.
No.
But as an adult, you know what it actually
Oh,
is.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Like, dude, Powerpuff Girls was like, what is going on
The
here?
two villains.
And the thing is, like,
Yeah.
you know how like they have those stubs? That's not an art direction. They just don't have hands. Like, the Powerpuff Girls do not have hands. They have little sticky things on the end of their fucking stumps that they pick up shit with. That is actual canon to their character.
That's creepy.
Yeah, very creepy. I don't like that.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
no.
So it's like, oh boy.
That is show telekinesis, and they're just like mimicking it. Just miming it. I mean, literally in the movie, they do like a game of tag, and they literally like destroy the city with their superpowers.
Well, they're 5.
Yeah, it's like the only villains I actually there are 3, which was him, Mojo, and then like that gang of like
Boys?
green dudes.
Well, there's also the
No,
boys.
there's the Rowdy
Rowdy
Rough,
Tough Boys.
the Rowdy Rough Boys.
Rowdy Rough Boys.
Because
Yeah.
the Powerpuff Girls are the Rowdy Rough Boys.
Ah, yeah.
Who I think was created by JoJo.
I think so.
I think they only done like 3 episodes, and one of them is like a flash to the future where they're teenagers.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, because I've seen the Rowdy Rough Boys like in the corner of the mall like cafeteria, and
Yeah.
they're like,
Saw,
dude. It was fine. Powerpuff Girls was fine.
I liked it, but moving on to Ed, and Eddie.
I liked Ed and Eddie a lot. I thought it was interesting when they actually put them in school in the later seasons. The movie, I thought.
Oh wait, they did?
Yeah, they were in school.
Oh, I did not know that.
They were in school for a period of time. Eddie was a fucking bitch. I loved Ed, and I loved Double D. I thought they were way too good for Eddie. Cause like Double D was literally like, there would literally be episodes where like the other kids would talk to him and be like normal. It's like, oh, he's a good kid. It's like, but then anything Eddie happens like ruins it. Just ruins it for him. I'm like, oh my god, dude.
Why do you hang out with him, Double D? Who fucking knows?
I don't know, maybe because he doesn't want to abandon Ed and leave Ed with Eddie without supervision.
Yeah, you know, fair. I thought that was his hair.
Because Ed.
I thought that black thing on his head was his
it was
hair.
a sock, so I called him Sockhead.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I
Mhm.
thought it was just his hair, and I was like, he has weird hair.
You know, because Ed and freaking his sister Sarah are eldritch abominations in the form of human beings with super
Yep.
strength and,
Yep.
and unknowable knowledge.
His sister Sarah beats the shit out of him, someone who could like lift a planet.
Yeah.
Like, What the fuck?
I remember the one episode, like, the Jawbreakers are, like, free at the store. So I was like, we gotta clean all this up. And then Eddie just takes off running and is like, oh, don't worry, Eddie. They're like, we want Jawbreakers or anything. And, like, he, like, Double D, like, does this thing where he just kind of, like, zips up and, like, it, like, almost like a curtain rolling, like, up his costume thing. And then it just goes over to Ed and just, like, flips the driveway concrete and, like, rolls it up, like, free Jawbreaker, Double D! Just takes off running with him under his arm.
Love
They were just doing crazy, impossible shit all the time. Well, because it was always the rule of Looney Tunes' logic of it could only do
and your garden is overgrown.
impossible things when it was funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Every other time, he could not.
What, your cucumbers are soft and your garden is overgrown?
Your cucumbers are soft and your garden is overgrown. Life holds many doors, Ed boy.
Ed boy?
He
scared the shit out of me.
I love all the Rolf memes with Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
You have to trick the Center Shepherd. It's like him holding a spirit column.
Dude, he scared the shit out of me as a kid.
I love they take like the Ultra Instinct Goku fighting Jiren and they just put like the burden of hospitality is too great for Rolf. And it's just filthy animals not belong in the Rolf shed. It's just like Ed and Eddie sound effects and Rolf screaming over that fight scene. Oh man.
Ed and Eddie was just a wild fucking crazy
I loved
time.
Rolf so much.
I remember whenever there was that big scare that they were gonna get a remake, but the fucking art style was just terrible.
Well, the art style, the original wasn't that great either.
No, but it was
like,
bad.
With all like the blue and green tongues all over the place.
I liked it,
like,
you know, but like, you know.
Remember those? Did you know about that fan theory about how they're all like in purgatory, or
yeah.
are all actually sick, which is why their tongues are all, or like all the parents are actually like there's a post-apocalypse, so the parents are dead, and it's just the children. Like, you never see any parents on the show. Ed and Eddie had a lot of really stupid fan theories.
A lot of stupid.
Remember the episode when aliens invaded and abducted the cul-de-sac?
No.
That was an episode because for some reason there was like a three-part series between Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Ed and Eddie, and Camp Laszlo, maybe? Were just aliens. Aliens. Like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends with Lily Cheese going, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. And literally ends with him like broadcasting that in like a radio and like aliens going, cheese, 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 as they approach the planet. I'm like, why did they do this? What was the point? I don't understand. It was weird, man.
I guess they just really liked aliens back in that time.
Oh, because it was like a three-part episode. It was one episode across 3 different shows that barely connected to each other. The only theming was aliens.
Next up we got Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I didn't really watch that many episodes of Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Horrifying.
Very
straight up fucking nightmare fuel.
Psychological horror.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I watched
4 kids.
Okay, literally, I watched every episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog every time it came on as a kid, and every single time I would have to watch like 4 episodes of anything else to not get fucking nightmares before going to bed. And I'm like, why do I subject myself to this? And I'm like, because the show is funny, but horrifying.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking 3D animation just coming out of fucking nowhere. Like, you are worthy. And I'm like, please don't give me this existential dread this early in the fucking lifespan of my being, please.
Oh my god.
Like, why is this a thing?
Oh man, the Courage. I do think Courage was a good show.
No, it was a good show.
It was just like
it was just like, why are you just giving me fucking like? Why am I looking at H.P. Lovecraft for children?
Now that is an episode where that is a TV show where you could like fan theory like none of this is happening. It's just Courage is like schizophrenia and anxiety. I would believe it in that way.
Yeah.
Weird shit happened in that show.
Abso-fucking-lutely. But like,
remember that episode where Muriel got turned into like a baby? He's like, "Hello, I'm Muriel. I'm only 3.5 years old." With her Scottish fucking accent in a diaper. A weird show, man.
Dude, Courage is one of those shows like I could probably rewatch, and it would not be near as bad as it was.
No.
But like when you're a kid watching this shit,
It's like, what is going on?
it's horrifying.
Yeah. Disney really didn't have an equivalent, did it? Like, 'cause you
No.
had Nickelodeon, you had like Ren and Stimpy, and all these like weird like shows like that, and then like you had like Courage Cowardly Dog or Billy and Mandy as this weird visual nightmare horror. I don't remember Disney really having a show like that.
Yeah, I don't think they did. Good for Disney.
Good for Disney.
Mike, Lou, and Og.
I've actually never heard of that one.
Neither have I.
Interesting.
I'm curious because it came out around the same time as Courage. I guess these didn't go on for very long.
We didn't talk about this in the Disney podcast.
Which one?
Because there was a cartoon called PB and J, which were otters.
Huh.
Yeah, I remember that. I just remembered that. I was like, oh, what's that? Is that like Disney?
And there's Sheep in the Big City.
No.
Never heard of it either.
No.
And then Time Squad.
Let me see a picture.
Oh, I've seen Time Squad.
Let me see. Oh yeah.
I do not remember anything about
No.
it. So I'm just gonna skip over that. But
I've seen it. I've seen it, but like could not tell you anything about the show.
Next up, Samurai Jack.
I actually watched a good chunk of Samurai Jack, like
I didn't.
during 2020.
I hated Samurai Jack as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, I did not like it.
It was one of those shows where it was like you could kind of just because the opening told you everything you needed to know about the show, so you could just literally watch any episode and you had full context.
I didn't like it as a kid. As an adult, I like Samurai Jack, but like I still haven't seen all of it, and I kind of need to see all of it to watch season 5.
Which is hit or miss depending on who you talk to.
Exactly.
Because the first 3 episodes are great, and the ending is a little.
But that's about all we can really say about Samurai Jack.
I mean, the one thing I will say about Samurai Jack, when they came back with creators, like, this is not to get a revival for the show or any more continuations. He's like, this is to give the show an ending. Because Gendy Tartakovsky, I think that's how you pronounce his name, had an idea of how to end the show. When it was originally airing, it just got canceled. You didn't get the chance. So when they brought it back, it was specifically to give it an ending.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Grim and Evil.
Grim and Evil.
Grim and Evil.
When you said Grim, I thought you were going to bring up the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God! It's Grim. It's Grim from Grim Adventures of Billy.
Was it like an Oh Yeah Cartoons kind of thing, or it was like a mini-sode thing that actually eventually got turned into a real cartoon?
I guess, but why is it not? Where's Grim Adventures of... Oh, it's down here. Wait, Grim and Evil came out before Grim Adventures of Billy and
Mandy? That's what I'm thinking. I think like it might have been like a mini-sode thing, or it was like mini cartoons that eventually got turned into an actual like full-length cartoon.
Okay, so you remember this bear, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So apparently it was like mini-sodes of that before... Okay, well then we'll skip to the next one. Whatever happened to Robot Jones?
That name sounds familiar.
The name does sound familiar. Man, what is with this like
this one block of Cartoon
just like
Network?
what the fuck is going on here?
I've seen that.
Well, do you remember anything about it?
No.
Skip.
But I have in fact seen that.
Codename Kid Next Door, baby.
Oh yeah.
Codename Kids Next Door.
KND.
Bro, just okay. Most important thing. What's your favorite number out of the OG 5?
Ooh, that's hard. That's tough.
You know what? I never understood.
I think I gotta go number 1.
I'm gonna go with number 5.
Yeah, that was my second. That was my second choice.
Yeah, number 5. She got the attitude.
I don't know. Number 5 kind of like black licorice.
I love number 5, and then probably after number 5 would have to be number 1. And then like I'm not gonna rank the rest. Number 2 is definitely my least favorite.
Oh, I'd say
of the OG
number 3
5.
was my least favorite, honestly.
No, I love number 3.
Probably both for me. You go 1, 5, 4, 2, 3.
So for me, it'd probably be 5, 1, 4, 3, 2.
Okay, so we just our first and our last.
Yeah.
We all agree number 4 is in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Number 4 is.
You remember that episode where they thought he was the chosen one of Dodgeball, but it turned out to be his baby brother Joey? So Joey had a giant dodgeball wizard match in the middle of a city?
Yes, I do remember that shit. And then you have the fucking, I think it was in the movie, where you find out that number 1's dad is the
it's number 0,
is
the progenitor of this. Which, by the way,
yeah,
doesn't make any sense if you include the episode of when number 1 tells you the history of kids and adults.
Yeah, but you also have, like, his dad is the brother of the main villain with the fire guy.
Whose father.
Yeah.
Who was in that episode of him reciting the past as one of the genetically created adults.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have 2 conflicting origin and timelines that the series has considered canon, both.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting here like, and then you have father's father,
grandfather,
who like goes to the number one's dad and is like, why didn't you join the line? And he's like, I'm sick of this. Like, father's like I'm sick of this.
Like, goes
he's
full
like,
ham.
whatever.
And then he's like, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm going back home to eat my ice cream. Good luck.
I love
That's so funny.
Codename Kid Next Door.
But I love how number one is like, Father is my uncle.
Bro, and you know one thing I never really understood?
No, I really love the whole thing where it's like when number 0 first shows up there, and like Father is like eating ice cream with like a silk pink like bathrobe. It's like, take that stupid thing off. What do you mean? This is cashmere. Not that just rips the black like overcoat.
Oh yeah.
And that's like sees what he actually looks like underneath it, and I'm like, great fucking voice actor. Phenomenal performance.
Oh, absolutely.
That actor.
Bro,
like he was legitimately terrifying every time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. One of the things I didn't quite understand when I was watching it as a kid, it might be dumb or I might just be forgetting something. I never understood why like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Why are they not in charge?
Oh,
like they are number 1.
Oh, they explain that actually.
That's what I never never got to either never saw it or don't remember.
2 different episodes.
Okay.
One of which was when number 2's younger brother Tommy got initiated Kid Next Door. Which is whenever you get initiated, you pick your number.
Okay.
It's like football jerseys. You pick your number.
Okay.
So as long as it's available, you can pick that number.
Okay.
2, the leader is determined by a game of tag, because no one wants to be in charge of the entirety of KND.
Oh, I was about to say, because like don't they always bring up a point like number 1 is like a lot of people look to number 1 for being in charge, even though he's not in charge.
Well, they literally
and it's like he's next in line or some shit.
He's not next in line. It was just he's very qualified. He's a section leader, but he is not like because their crew is patrol sector V, which because section H is like Hawaii and section J is like Japan. So I assume section V was like Virginia, because very clear that they're in America.
Yeah.
But also you cannot divide the Earth into 26 sectors with each starting with a letter and not have overlap or having really broad range.
Yeah.
So sector U is in, Uganda. What about Utah?
I guess sector V is just America.
But then it would be like sector.
But they're in Virginia.
But sector U though, because like United States.
Oh, who fucking knows?
I don't know, man. They never really.
They're in sector.
Not that they ever needed to explain it, but they just.
Yeah, I think Codename Kid Next Door had a lot of interesting villains that they fought.
Well, because basically it was all told essentially from the perspective of children.
Yeah.
So you could always make the excuse that none of this is actually happening. It's just in kids' imagination.
I don't like that excuse.
No, I'm not saying that's canon. I'm saying you could always make that this doesn't quite make sense. Well, it's because they're kids and they're playing.
Yeah. Which I'm totally fine with. But
and of course, number 1 got picked to be for the Galactic Kid Next Door, where only 1 kid per planet gets to join.
Yeah.
That's how the series ended.
Yeah.
Yeah. And number...
Didn't number 4 take over as leader?
No.
Or was it number 5?
I would assume number 5.
I would hope number 5.
But of course, number 5, you think so because she rejected second in command for a while.
A long time, yeah.
Well, because apparently she was in charge of an operation, and as a result, the operation against the delightful children from down the lane, it made Nigel bald.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why it's that's just I'm not going to be in charge. I'm not.
I mean,
but maybe
props to number 5.
But maybe after number 1 promotes, I guess she's well now he's not here, then there's really no excuse for me not to step up.
She is a good leader.
Yeah. But she also tends to go off on her own solo adventures a lot.
Yeah, she does do that.
You ever do Candy Beard and stuff?
Yeah.
And that one guy who had the German accent who turned out not to be a guy actually.
I do not remember that.
Okay, basically what this thing was, Heinrich, the guy who's number 5, and the candy!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it turns out, because they explained that in an episode, there was an idol that, at a certain time of year, could turn people's best qualities into candy. And as a result, that candy was delicious, but they lost that part of themselves. And you can regain that part of yourself as long as you don't eat all the candy. So it turns out, as revenge, because Heinrich, basically ate all of his candy. and he basically blamed number 5 for it. So as revenge, he takes away all of the crew's, like, the parts that they deem. So number 5 lost her coolness. Number 1 lost his courage. No. Number 1 lost. No, it was number 4 lost his courage. Number 2 lost his intelligence. Number 3 lost her kindness. And number 1 lost, I think, his coordination.
Oh.
His skill. It was really funny though, because he was like eating. He's like, oh, number 3, your kindness is almost too sweet. And then he ate number 4. It's like, ah! They shot fire out of his mouth. Yeah, but it turns out Heinrich was originally a girl.
Oh wow.
So I guess he valued most about his femininity. So basically, he had to. So number 5 had to convince, like, she kept the last piece. So like eventually the episode ends, and it's like Heinrich turns back into a girl, and like that's just the end of it. It's like he's like, oh, I'm okay now.
Ignore all the things you just did to us.
Well, because it was the thing about it was, like, Heinrich blamed number 5 for what happened to him, and number 5 never fully explained because, like, you know, Heinrich is just obsessed with candy, and if number 5 told him that he had that last piece before it was possible to cure him, he would have just eaten it. Because he has no impulse control.
Yeah.
Because like this was a weird show, but you know,
very strange.
But you know what? It was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. Grandmother Stuff 'em! Grandmother Stuff 'em! Remember that episode where it was just a musical number sung by Grandmother Stuff 'em the entire time?
We need to rewatch Codename Kids.
You know, they went to school, like the school bus was a train?
We need to rewatch Codename Kids Next
And
Door.
like there's a robbery, and they had gum they would spit, and like that would be their 6-shooter.
I do remember that, yeah.
You know, like they would have guns like, oh, it's a mustard gun, or like a plank that's like swinging, and then just a literal laser.
Yeah.
And then there was the crossover episode between Codename Kids Next Door and Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
It's on Boomerang.
I'm sure it is.
Which I have Boomerang. We're gonna watch that one.
I think that definitely has peaks and valleys. You know, number 2 had a crush on number 5's older sister, and she was a part of this teenage organization that just hated kids.
That is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and you know how like they tried on her bra because they put bra through like their anagram and it said battle ready armor.
Ha!
And then like it turned out they were correct, but initially they weren't because like they didn't know how to activate it. She's like, "You guys were in my room!" Ah! And it's like, she's like, "No, she's actually evil though." Oh no! I just remembered. Number 5's dad. He was a Bill Cosby. Wow, you number 5 and Queen.
Oh no!
Oh, look at your big bowl of Joe. Because you never saw his face. But like it was a Bill Cosby thing.
Oh no!
Oh no! I just remember.
I'm just a Bill with a big sleeping pill.
I just remember that because I remember there being an episode where it's like it's so nice seeing you girls getting along. Thanks, Dad. And it appears underneath, and they're both like aiming guns at one another.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Imagine having to be like that, where like you have to constantly be under threat of dying with your sibling in the
There's
room.
an episode where like they're trying to give all the kids chicken pox, so like the teenagers can have like 2 weeks of not little kids, and the chicken pox were terrifying because in that episode it was little chicken heads popping out of your face.
Wow,
It's awful.
that show was stranger.
Yeah,
than
they just got to do whatever they wanted for that one, man.
I love it though.
The most disgusting villain was the adult that was always sick, so he had like snot gun that was just like
just ignore it.
So
Please skip.
And then Mr. Boss.
Skip.
Mr. Boss, who was like just giant, like you know like Wilson Fisk in like Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
He had that body shape.
Yeah.
Whereas like his like back is taller than his
Yeah.
head.
Oh my god.
And then like the vampire. Oh, there's like the vampire who spanked naughty kids.
Yes.
And then like if he spanked you without his glove on, you then turned into a spankpire, or whatever the fuck it was called. But the one time he got in trouble because he spanked an innocent kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
There's a lot to talk about Codename Kids Next Door.
Clearly, if you couldn't tell,
we liked it.
Codename Kids Next Door. We like K&D. To one, going on from one that Aaron loves, immediately going to one that Aaron hates.
Oh no, what is it?
2003, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Okay, so I thoroughly enjoy Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I hate Billy, same as Aaron. I think he's disgusting and the worst part of the series.
That and Billy's dad.
That and Billy's dad. Everything that
Did
does.
he have a mom?
Yes. You did have a mom.
I did have a mom. Was not.
Yeah.
Was not. Okay, so tangent. Still Billy and Mandy though. Okay. You know, power scaling is like a huge thing in certain communities where everyone's talking about. Everyone's talking about like all this stuff. Where it's like, oh, this character can be this character for this reason, and this character can be this character for this reason.
As long as someone's being stupid, Mandy wins.
No, here's the thing.
Okay.
Basically, they said Mandy is a world destroyer to your power, because apparently in like the last episode or something, Mandy smiled, and when she did, the world exploded. And I'm like, guys, you are misinterpreting that scene. It is not Mandy is so powerful she can destroy the earth. It was Mandy smiling is so against the laws of reality itself that her doing this forbidden act is what blew up the earth. She can't just smile and blow up planets. It's against her very being.
Yeah. That's my thing. Is like I think the movie was fun, like with the Spider Lady and Grimm, you know, and she's like trying.
I don't remember the movie.
Oh well, it's like a Spider Lady who was in love with Grimm before he became the Grim Reaper, and he was just a skeleton, and like something happened, and like she gets super pissy at him, and he's like, "I still love you," and then they, you know,
he was Jamaican.
Yeah. I'm gonna kill you, man.
And like for some reason I was like, oh yeah, like it's like, oh, you think these monsters are scary? Well, here are the classic monsters, and it's like Dracula.
I'm Dracula.
Like, well, no, he's like old.
Yeah.
He's like, no, Dracula does not suck. What he do is he scratches and licks, scratchy and licks.
I love Dracula in that show. It's so dumb. I love it though.
It's like the wolf man starts like, it's like, eat some grass, dear, you'll feel better. And it's like Bride of Frankenstein, but they're all old.
Yeah, they're all old.
It's like that's a choice.
The classic, because they're like, oh, the classic ones. They're all old people.
Yeah, and it's like whole thing where it's like that one episode where like that one guy, it's like a display of perfect physical health here as a proven display of physical health. I hereby grant you these bonus years. It's like yeah, if I keep this up, I'll live forever. How many times do I have to tell you? You can't live forever. It's like, oh yeah, well if I publish this book, it's like, oh no, he can live forever doing this. I had to stop him from publishing this book, so they send him in a rocket to the sun. Where he then publishes the book to all the people in the sun, and he hands it to them, and the kid grabs it, and then it bursts into flames. Says, "Oh man, no, I'll never be able to live forever by being in peak physical condition."
Yeah, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I remember watching it a lot. Like, I definitely watched it a lot more than some other shows back then. I still hated Billy. Like, I still to this day hate Billy, and I hated him back then. Mm-hmm. But I liked Mandy and Grimm. Mm-hmm. So I could get past Billy's scenes. I would just kind of like, fucking close my eyes and shut my ears until fucking Billy's shit was over.
F-R-E-D-F-R-E-D-B-U-R-G-E-R Fred Burger, yes! You remember that character?
No.
The little like green elephant?
I don't even remember why Grimm was with Billy and Mandy.
Because...
Or why Mandy was hanging out with Billy.
Okay, I don't know why Mandy and Billy were hanging out. I couldn't tell you that. But basically what it was is they were celebrating Billy's pet hamster's birthday. And Grimm showed up to reap the hamster's soul. And they didn't want that to happen. So Mandy basically challenged Grimm to a limbo contest. And if they won, then the hamster got to stay, and then they would be his. Then they forced Grimm to be their best friend forever. And if Grimm won, then he got to reap Billy's soul.
Wow.
And they won because Mandy used mind tricks and intimidation to make Grimm fail.
But why were Billy and Mandy friends?
I could not tell you. He doesn't even seem useful as like a pawn to Mandy. He's just like, it's not like he's Ed, who's like eldritch strength.
Yeah.
He's just disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. Evil Con Carne.
I don't.
That's probably like the grim and evil. It's probably the evil bear with the brain.
I don't know.
Who cares? Star Wars Clone Wars.
Yes.
I love Star Wars Clone Wars.
Quality.
Very quality. High quality show.
An actual anthology series where you can watch basically any episode. Some that you have 2 or 3
There
parts.
is an order. There is an order.
There is a chronological order. You do not have to follow it.
Because considering the chronological order is not order of release, because the first chronological episode is like season fucking 2.
Yeah.
which is
No,
hilarious.
but you can just pick up any episode and watch it.
I know, that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
Up until season 7, but that's not Cartoon Network.
No, that was Disney Plus.
I think we talked mostly about Star Wars on Disney. Like,
Did we?
Did we?
Like, I know there were like.
Well,
we talked about Rebels.
Oh yeah, we talked about
about
Rebels,
Rebels.
because Rebels was made by Disney, but
Okay,
Clone Wars
so
was made by Cartoon Network.
anyone who cares or doesn't know, the Clone Wars and Rebels were the same crew.
Creators,
It was
yeah.
the exact same people doing both. The difference was they had Disney money for Rebels, whereas Clone Wars was actually starting to lose viewers for a while there. So threatened with cancellation, they pushed the show further, art through adversity. So some of the best that show got was in its later seasons, where they kind of stopped caring what Cartoon Network thought and just wanted to tell their own story.
Yeah, which is what I like.
But then you had Rebels and
Yeah.
Clone Wars was never a show I watched constantly. But like, also, did they have like the 2D one? The 2D part?
No, that one isn't on there.
But I don't know where that one was. But basically the 2D one I think took place. No, because I don't know. There were two different cartoons that took place during that era of the Star Wars timelines. It was good. I liked it. General Master Kenobi, what do you think the height of stupidity is? Anakin, how tall are you? Sir, we're reading high levels of sass on that ship. Kenobi!
Can you get your
Obi-Wan is just everyone's favorite uncle.
Can you get your trainee to calm down? He's annoying. He's getting on my nerves.
All right, everyone who knew that Anakin and Padme were sleeping with each other, raise your hands. Anakin, please put your hand down. No, Anakin was not actually that stupid.
No, Anakin was smart.
In Clone Wars, you saw exactly how a hero like Anakin could fall to the dark side.
Exactly.
Like this version of Anakin, it became very clear how this hero his flaw was he cared too much.
Yep.
Like you can see this guy sacrificing everything for the people he
sacrificed
loved.
his life to save R2-D2.
Yeah.
Several times.
Yeah. So it's like you can 100% see how this version of Anakin would become Darth Vader.
Oh, absolutely.
It just kind of sucks that
you know where that's going to go.
Yeah, and also the fact that like I don't think Hayden Christensen, like as the actor, was at fault. It was 100% George Lucas and his shitty dialogue.
Like, cause Hayden Christensen in like Kenobi was amazing.
Yeah.
And and in the Ahsoka show, he was also amazing.
I actually didn't watch Ahsoka.
Well, I only watched the scenes with him.
Like Ahsoka's like the only gray Jedi, which is annoying because Disney it seems like is unwilling to actually make Jedi a real gray Jedi a real thing. The only reason Ahsoka is allowed to be a gray Jedi is because she's a fan fucking favorite character.
Yeah.
And she's not a Jedi, she got kicked out.
Exactly.
So and they're not gonna make her a Sith because it's not what's gonna happen.
Yeah, no.
So my parents the other day, literally I think yesterday, started watching Acolyte.
Really?
And the first scene is this schmuck walking up is I challenge you to a fight, and the Jedi being is no. And then he starts beating up everybody, so the Jedi was fine, I'll fight you. And then because the Jedi has the Force, they won. Obviously, they ran away, but because they did that, now the Empire's on their trail. I'm you motherfucker with your basic ass kung fu, think you're gonna take on a Jedi? Okay. You know how that fight should have ended?
How?
I wish to fight you. Picks you up, slams you into the ground. GG.
I'm not a big fan of Acolyte, mostly because
I've actually never seen the full
thing. I just know
that that's what happened.
They ruined Anakin's story.
Arguably, Anakin's story was already ruined, but go on.
Well, Anakin's story was he was supposed to be special.
He's a tragic hero.
Yeah, well, he was supposed to be special. He was the only person ever born from the Force.
I don't care about that.
I do. And they're yes, we just have lesbian space witches now that just use the Force to always impregnate each other. And I'm this...
Well, that could literally just explain an origin for how Anakin happened.
No! Because it was literally the Force itself that impregnated Anakin's mother.
Okay, well, Clone Wars and Rebels and a bunch of other things like just have force deity creature things that just do stuff literally all the time.
I know, and it's annoying. They need to stop.
Well, no, I don't think they necessarily need to stop because, like, honestly, the force literally being the thing
Wait. This is Disney. I don't want to talk about the Acolyte. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't want to talk about it.
All right. Well, the thing about Star Wars, because we're talking still Clone Wars, like, the Force, literally, as it was described, is that it is literally the ties that bind the universe together. So
Actually, it's midichlorians.
Yeah, that was stupid. That was like, why, George? Why? Oh no, because they need to introduce power levels into Star Wars. You gotta get your scouter out to read their power level. I don't know why they bothered.
Who cares?
Yeah, they never.
I don't
They never bring it up again.
Well, because they don't tell you how much the power level actually is for anybody, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So next up is Megas XLR.
That was a short-lived show. Basically, what happened was they were like future robots. One got sent into the past. Those two guys like found it and like basically rebuilt it and like repaired it and like made it so like it functioned like through his like GameCube controller.
What?
So you could like control the robot through like a console controller.
Wow.
And the girls from the future came back to collect it, and like, but she couldn't pilot it anymore because of the modifications he made. So basically, it was kind of like a symbiotic Titan thing.
Yeah, I was about to say it kind of looks like Symbiotic Titan.
I don't know, like if the studios are obviously Cartoon Network, but I don't know if like any of the people transferred over. Apparently, Megas XLR, like the music for it, slapped. If you ask certain people, I actually don't really know anything about the soundtrack.
Then we
Short-lived show, didn't last I think beyond a season.
Then we have Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
I really liked Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Yeah, Blue went from being
a complete.
No, he went from being like the friend that Mac needed, where it's like, you know, he helps push Mac a little bit out of his comfort zone, but like he's good natured at the end of the day, and like needed to be that little bit of chaotic to be able to deal with freaking Mac's older brother.
Yeah. Who was just Satan incarnate. Like that's not even a bully. That is like, I'm going to murder my little brother.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
what is wrong with you?
Yeah, Terrence is raised by a single mom. Potentially he remembers the dad. Maybe the dad was a bastard. I don't know. I don't care. But no, Terrence wrong voice is Terrence.
Honestly, yeah.
But like, and then Blue just becomes just like the worst character. Like within the first season of the show, worst character.
Yeah.
Other than Duchess.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
Madam
Will
Foster
was always my favorite.
Madam Foster, you're alive! But of course I'm alive! It's like, well, I've been here a couple days. I've never seen you. Well, it takes me a while to get up and down these stairs. I am old! I like Mr. Harriman. Like, you'd think, like, as a kid, I liked Mr. Harriman.
I didn't.
I was like,
because I like Frankie.
No, I did. No, definitely. Yeah. Frankie's like, Frank. I literally, my brain is like, okay, my character that's imaginary friend helps Frankie and refuses to be adopted because he's helping Frankie with all the fucking chores. And because that show has determined that your imaginary friends can have superpowers, because there's one episode between, like, you know, that one superpower guy who like takes Mac as a sidekick and then fights like the girl with the heart-shaped hair and stuff like that. Yeah, so like imaginary friends can be superhumans, which means guaranteed they're used in warfare in this world.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you've seen like the teenager ones, like I remember they have a special term for them, where like they like literally go to like they literally have like street fights with them, like pitting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have like the legend of like I think it was Will, like the basketball guy.
Good Will Hunting.
Yeah. What?
Good Wilt Hunting. Because I think his name is Wilt, not Will.
Oh well, whatever his name is like remember that episode where it's like, oh, the legend of and he's like mowing everyone's lawn.
Yeah, that's the movie. Good Wilt Hunting, which is a play on Good Will Hunting,
which is hilarious.
Who in one mighty swath he'd cut down that grass with his golden lawn mower. We had no idea to thank him until he showed up here today. Like, well, what happened? We let him go, and I know this. I don't know where he's going. Wherever he walks, the grass will be short. Weird movie.
Yeah, very weird.
Yeah, I feel so bad for him as a character.
Oh, same.
So, 'cause he's got a busted arm and a busted leg, and he's just too nice for his own good because he got traumatized.
Yeah. Anyways.
And then the ending is so stupid because it's like, oh, Wilt, I found you again. Now we can be friends again. Look at all this stuff. We're gonna have so much fun. It's like, nah, I think there's a kid out there that needs me. You've been in that foster home for 20 years! What are you talking about? Like, if he was somebody that, like, helped Frankie with chores, like, which he does periodically, but, like, you know, like, if it was, like you're too important to the home, I would get it. But, like, there's a kid out there somewhere who needs me. No.
No.
Go back with the boy.
I also hate the cheese thing.
I like cheese. I thought he was funny.
I hate
He's like one of the rare characters that is like that I actually enjoyed and thought was funny.
I fucking hate cheese.
I like this game.
Anyways.
Potatoes smell like flowers.
Oh
Dude, okay, so you know that one girl I told you about? You know that one girl I told you about, like, that I was friends with in high school?
Yeah?
Yeah, me and her would just quote cheese back and forth with each other. Her cheese voice is better than mine is.
Oh my
or
god.
was. I don't know. I haven't talked to her since high school. But no, I love Cheese. I think he's hilarious. He's in like 3 episodes. Like I said, that one episode with the random aliens.
Hi, Puffy Amiyumi.
That was a weird one.
I've never actually watched it. I didn't even know it existed until a friend of mine told me about it.
Yeah, I did. I watched it. There's only a plot of like one episode I can remember. And it's the episode where they were like having like their tour bus driver and maybe manager like become a sumo wrestler for some reason. Apparently there was a cartoon based upon the band that did the Teen Titans theme song.
No, it is. It is a cartoon based around the band that did the Teen Titans.
Even though their designs have like nothing like what the actual characters look like.
Nope.
So it's their VTuber models. It's fine.
They were VTubing before VTubing was a
Yeah.
thing. Well, this one's gonna be all you because I've never
It's
seen.
better than the Albonite sisters.
Yeah, I've never seen this show, but I know you've seen this entire show, so this is all you. The Life and Times of Juniper Lee.
Yes. So it's 3 seasons. Basically, the concept was there was a magical world that used to basically take place at the same as like the human world. But a grand council of powerful individuals, sorcerers, wizards, monks, I don't know, man, basically made it a soft barrier between the monster world and the human world, which is basically they still existed at the same place at the same time, just humans could not see monsters, but monsters could still see humans. It's the think American Dragon Jake Long, but the monsters are invisible.
Yeah.
So Juniper Lee is the last of a grand line of Tejuanze, who basically are chosen ones that keep the balance between monsters and humans by basically fighting evil monsters and making sure humans don't go places they shouldn't. But they are bound, keep this in mind,
Yeah.
Juniper Lee, she is Chinese.
Yeah.
Her entire family is Chinese.
Yeah.
Bloodline, Orchid Bay, United States. And that's the epicenter of magic, apparently. I don't know if you know this or anything, but that's not the history of the timelines. China really didn't come to America for like a while.
A long while.
Yeah, so that's I don't know where they're coming at from that angle, from like, you know, oh, the Techuanze has been bound to this city for yada yada yada. I don't know if that was a recent development. I don't remember that being a thing. So basically her grandmother was the previous Techuanze because none of her children inherited it. So she was Techuanze longer than any other person had ever been. So when Juniper, like, her powers unlocked, she was like 5, 6. She was young. Her parents have no idea. So it's just her grandmother who she can go to, and her little brother, because when she was young and her powers first released, these, like, monsters tried to take it from her before she got her powers developed, and some of the power ended up in him, so now he can see monsters, but he doesn't have any of the other powers, like super strength. And magic in this world is not done like a sorcerer where you just have magic innately inside of you, like some people do, but it's also the fact that it's like you can perform magic by having the right ingredients and using the right words. So, you know Foo Dog? In American Dragon Jake Long?
Yeah.
Yeah, June has one. but he's Scottish.
I remember that.
Yeah, and he's like 300 years old, just like Foo Dog. And basically he helped June.
Man, Juniper Lee and Jake Long.
Yeah, they are very, very similar. Basically, Juniper Lee was just Cartoon Network's version of American Dragon Jake Long.
Yeah.
Unless Juniper Lee came out before American Dragon Jake Long, in which case...
Juniper Lee came out in 2005. When did American Dragon... When did America enter World War II? American Dragon. 2005. Okay, Juniper Lee came second, but barely.
Yeah.
By 3 months.
And so, like...
So, like, which means...
Their production.
Yeah, so, like...
Yeah, but Juniper Lee...
It was just very crazy weird.
Yeah, but Juniper Lee got 3 seasons. And, of course, June had 2 best friends. One of which was the sunny, sunshine girl, blonde hair, pigtails. She was the sweetest girl ever. And then she had a goth friend.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Who was all artsy and like, come on, whatever. It was a pretty fun show because she had an older brother named Dennis who couldn't see monsters, but he was a huge D&D nerd. So he would like oftentimes go into her room to like steal stuff to like use as props in his because he wasn't just D&D, he would LARP. So not realizing what like Juniper's stuff is actually magic. So literally they would have to like douse him in like memory erasure spray like all the time because he kept accidentally discovering magic and shit.
I don't see why it's a problem for him to
because he can't do anything about it. He doesn't have any powers.
So? And
he can't see monsters, so just knowing there exists could just give something a panic attack and like an anxiety, like, oh my god, is that an earthquake or is that a giant monster walking by? Like,
that's fair.
However, basically it got to the point where they doused him so much, it stopped working. So they literally just had to tell him. And it was funny because the dog, I can't remember his name, basically was like, he's like, how did you perform this spell? It's like, well, I just used this as a modifier and all this thing. He's like, that's correct. And he's like, wait, what? But he's just a D&D nerd. He's like, actually, Juniper, looking at these games, they're actually following the basic principles of magic. Dennis might know more about magic than you do. So like, and there's another episode, like season 3 got interesting because basically, so Dennis found out about magic and started like, kind of helping out. Like, he didn't really join the team, but like he's just near the end of the season he found out and was like, oh, this is gonna be a thing now. And then like Sasquatches existed in this world, but they weren't exactly monsters, but they weren't quite humans. And the thing about Sasquatches are basically all of them had short-term memory loss, like they could never remember anything. That's why humans never find them, because they just keep forgetting wherever they are. So it's like just wandering around. But there was one who was a girl who was young for Sasquatches. And like she's like, oh, you can see monsters? Like, oh yeah, we can see monsters. We can smell them. Like our senses are much stronger than humans are. Like she talked kind of like that, but not quite with the lisp. But the thing is, like, because she didn't get along with any of the Sasquatches, because she actually had a brain and actually had a memory, so they brought her back and they shaved her. Yes, her. They shaved her. So like she lost all of the fur except for like on her head, obviously. But the thing is though, she was a Sasquatch, which meant she was basically just as physically powerful as Juniper was.
Yeah.
So by the time the 3rd season ended, Juniper basically had a whole crew of people who were willing to help her fight against monsters. Because the final episode was the big bad villain witch lady who showed up in a previous episode, which basically caused everyone to find out about Juniper's secret, because she literally tore down the barrier between humans and monsters. Because she's like, oh, because she's literally in the mall like, people, fear me, for I, the vicious, whatever her name is, has returned! Why aren't they panicking? Oh yeah, sorry mama, you may not know, there's a barrier they got put up, they can't seize us. What? What's the point of me declaring if they ain't gonna run and scream? Breaks it down. See that's better.
Just imagine being that powerful to just be.
Well, that's what she got. That's why they sealed her away. She broke out. So basically, she cursed Juniper by basically trapping the grandmother. And then Juniper got turned into a monster. Like they admitted. So she started breaking down the crystals that create the barrier in Orchid Bay, which is what keeps. Because basically, she could only tear down the barrier within Orchid Bay, not beyond the area.
Okay.
So the team had to basically stop the monster-fied Juniper and the main villains. Like, that's just when the series was really starting to get good. canceled. And I love Juniper because like she's a girl, but the whole thing she's like, "Come on, Crudmouth, let's go! I'll kick your butt across the Golden Gate Bridge and back." Like she had a bit like she didn't like curse, so she had a bit of a potty mouth for like the kid show potty mouth.
Yeah.
And of course, you always have the little brother who's annoying as fuck. It was a good show. You can find all of it for free on YouTube right now. I'm not even kidding. Full episodes, just uploaded in playlists. That's how I rewatched it.
Nice.
Because I don't think it's literally anywhere else.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I need to rewatch that.
It's a fun show.
You know what? It's going on the list.
Got a pretty good theme song too. There's a villain who's like an ancient mummy, who talks with a southern accent.
That's beautiful.
He's like, "Oh yeah, doing all this stuff. Making my chicken, making my Egypt fried chicken." He's like, "I use the dead because they don't have any benefits."
Oh my goodness.
Because she's literally chasing a zombie down. It's like, it's like, "What are you doing? I'm gonna be late for work." It's like, "What?" And there's this one guy. He's like Lord of the Dreams or whatever, and he's like trying to break into the road. He's like, "Come on, Steven." He's like, "My name is Steven." Steven, he's a pansy. He can just go over there, ruffle his feathers. He'll kill over, no problem. Because the grandmother, like every time we talk to her, she's like out like extreme like skydiving or like she's been bound in Orchid City for like her entire life. And she never told Juniper. She never told her that she could never leave. Because there's an episode where she's gonna go to space camp. And like she's trying to like break the news to her, but she can't bring it to her. So like she's literally running, and she like hits a barrier, and she's like, "Amma!" It's like, this is stupid. It's like, what? Do I have to wait to live my own life when I'm as old as you are?
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm sorry, Amma." I was like, "No, Juniper, this is my fault. Do you know why I spend all my time traveling around the world? Because I'm trying to find a way to free you." And there's this episode where like there's like cons that like monsters go to. And apparently, like, her grandmother, because of how long she was doing, is, like, considered, like, the best Tesh-1Z ever. And this was Juniper's first time going to the con as the new Tesh-1Z. And is like, boo! And, like, this organization of, like, I guess government officials, they never, like, I don't remember they explaining it, like, created his goggles to be able to see monsters and go there to capture them to run experiments on them.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a little bit American Dragon Jake Long, a little bit Danny Phantom. It was a fun show. I liked it.
Wow.
Yeah. I love the dog because there's a great scene where it's like because the dog's father shows up sometimes because he was the previous assistant to the Tesh-1Z. There's like there's an episode between like I don't know why with Easter it's like the bunnies versus the chicks, and it's like oh, I've been picked as the strategist. It's like, "Da, come over here, talk to me." It's like, so you've been picked as the strategist for the chicks. Aye. And I've been picked as the strategist for the bunnies. Aye. So why don't we just work together to create a first conflict that settles everything peacefully? It's like, "Oh, I see how it is. You're scared of being beaten by your old dog." Excuse me? This whole thing where they end up like this whole war. And there's another episode where he goes to like a dog show. He's like, "I'm not debasing myself to run around this track to a bunch of humans and something." And it ends up it's like, "All right, we don't have to do this anymore." It's like, "No, I'm in this competition. I'm going to win it. For dogs of all kind, and for Scotland!" Jesus Christ. I would show you the scene. It's hilarious. I love the dog. He is so good. I don't know why he is Scottish. Again, they are Chinese. But he's one of the best characters in the show. And he's just a wee dog. Moving on.
It's a good one. I like it.
It's good. I like it.
I haven't seen much of it, but I have seen episodes as a kid.
There's another episode where the kids get possessed by ancient Vikings.
Oh my God.
Teenagers. Like, oh! It's like, "Look at this. Do I look manly? You're a girl."
Camp Laszlo.
I liked Camp Laszlo.
I did like Camp Laszlo.
And then the trio went to camp and turned it upside down. Lazlo.
Yeah. It was weird. Very strange.
It was a very strange show. We talked about it a fair bit in our childhood cartoons podcast.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of strange.
Because you had Laszlo the monkey, you had Clam the rhino, and then you had Raj the elephant. Why are they always named Raj?
Because people are racist?
Yes. I guess.
It's like, oh, elephant, give them an Indian
Well,
name.
to be fair, like in Phineas and Ferb, he was Ronajit. Beljeet.
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 Yeah.
Now I'm racist.
Now you're racist. The show was good. We've talked about it at length in a previous video, so we're gonna.
It was kind of wacky and crazy. I like the fact that like all of them were named for beans. Like each of the characters were named for beans, and the kid got to pick. So they picked a jelly for jelly beans.
Yep.
And everyone was upset about that. That's not a real bean. I was like, oh yeah.
But it is.
There's this one episode where they're like hiking through the forest, and they end up accidentally stumbling upon this like forest resort spring spa like relax retreat or whatever. And like the manager is like, okay, we're gonna have these people coming over. They're a little odd, but whatever they need, you need to provide it. And the trio shows up and it's like I'll do the talking. Ooh, waka waka, ooh, waka waka, because they think that's this ancient like tribe, whatever. It's like wow, wata, 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 wata. Do you have any wata? Sparkling or fresh? Sparkling would be nice. And Lumpus is out looking for them because if anyone finds out that they're missing, he's gonna like big trouble.
Yeah, Laszlo was fun.
It was fun. It was a fun show.
Next.
I heard the episode where he was stacking beans to get like donations for the camp.
No.
Yeah, he was literally just stacking beans. Because because nobody's buying beans. Nobody's buying beans.
Yeah,
So he's like, he gets bored and he just starts like, he's like kind of like doing little tricks and stacking beans. He's like, I can't do that again. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm supposed to be selling these for my camp. Okay, can I buy a can of beans? Yeah. It's like, now stack them beans.
Just pay him to do the freaking.
Yeah, well, this whole thing is like apparently he was approaching like a world record or something like that to do it, and they were gonna buy a submarine. But then Laszlo, I think no, it wasn't Laszlo. I think it was Edward or Lumpus who like punched because it was like single beans stacked on each other, and I think like punched it to like make like the thing collapse so he didn't get the world record. It was like, oh well, we tried. So Laszlo was like, that was fun, and they were like, ah!
Up next is something called Sunday Pants.
I don't know.
Never heard of it. Skipping.
Was it a square?
Huh?
Was it square?
Who knows?
Square Sunday
Square Sunday Pants. My gym partner's a monkey.
Okay.
My gym partner's a monkey.
Monkey.
It was strange.
Bullshark's Pokemon. I don't know what. Going to this school's a pain in the Adam. What? I was gonna say neck. Oh, that's okay then.
Yeah, it was a bit strange.
It was a weird show.
It had a lot of.
I used to go to human school where everything was the same. Now I go to an animal school because lion's my last name.
And it was like whenever he encountered an actual lion. Remember that episode?
I remember him actually interacting with a real lion.
He interacted with a real lion, and they turned out to bully him.
The only episode I remember in lion
when they were in
showing
high
up-
school.
No, because like the giraffe, like she had a growth spurt, and the middle school just couldn't handle her. So they just shoved her to the high school.
Yep.
And it's like her older sister is like, oh, look at the older siblings of all my friends. It's like, oh, there's somebody missing. And he's like, oh, there he is. Is like, oh, because it's like she's a human just leaning against the desk. It's like, oh, don't mess with him. He's like, oh, I know his little brother. He's such a sweetie. I'm sure he'll be the same. And was like, hey, like, how are you doing? It's like, cool. It's like, kind of hungry though. It's like, oh, really? Wait, why aren't your mouth moving? It takes off, and it turns out he was the mascot. It is a lion wearing a human costume. Yeah. He's like, oh. And then everything, like, she gets to go back to middle school because, like, they did a fundraiser to, like, lift the school a little bit.
So she could.
It's weird.
Thought it was fun.
Not girl power. Girl power.
Girl power.
I wasn't a huge fan of Metro Power Monkey. Like, I'd watch it, like, as a stopgap for like other.
Yeah,
shows
I would just
actually-
watch it
actually
between
liked.
watching other shows.
Yeah.
But I didn't ever. I would turn off Cartoon Network because it came on.
No, it's just whatever.
Okay.
Oh yeah, like the bull shark who wore braces and like had like the rebreather. Like,
Yeah,
it's like headphones.
Okay. I need you to not scream. Okay.
No promises.
I'm going to Ben 10. Yeah, okay.
Do you know how it started?
No.
With an alien device did what it did?
Oh my God.
Actually, so Man of Action basically got like, they were told to pitch a cartoon, and they're like, no, that's boring. What we're gonna do 10 cartoons 1 minute. We're gonna move on. We're gonna rapid fire a bunch of pitches. And one of them was a kid that had a magic watch that would turn him into 10 different superheroes, and they stopped him on that one. It's like, that one, we want that one, and that was how Ben 10 originally got greenlit.
Wow.
Yeah. Man of Action is actually pretty cool guys, as far as I'm aware. I haven't heard anything. I
haven't heard anything. Don't quote me.
Don't quote me. Don't quote me, officer. But like they have cool ideas. Like, cause they're like, oh, we want you to pitch one cartoon. It's like, no, we're gonna, like, there's like 5 of us. We're gonna, Man of Action. There are 5 of them. We're gonna come up with a bunch of ideas and just rapid fire them off, and whatever one gets picked, then we'll flesh out. Kind of like the opposite of Butch Hartman, who just like, I'm just gonna give you a bunch of cartoon ideas, not flesh out at all, just gonna pitch a bunch of them, and then you're gonna pick up into a cartoon. It's like, no, these guys actually like put fucking effort into their cartoons.
I don't know. Butch Hartman put effort into Danny Phantom. I mean, he had an ending for it.
Well, the problem with Butch Hartman and Nickelodeon with his cartoons is he always wanted to make action cartoons, and but every time he would pitch a show, it always got like, kidified. Yeah. Like, have you Imagination, Imaginathan? Do you know the original pitch for that show?
What?
It's very different. Like, he loves comic books, and I do too. But you're on a kids' cartoon network. Like, it's gonna be for kids stuff. Like, the era, like, if he really wanted, ironically enough, if he wanted the cartoons he wanted made, he should have been pitching to Cartoon Network, not Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Because Cartoon Network made a lot of shows that would have, like, Butch Hartman would have loved to have worked on. Yeah. Ben 10 is probably my favorite cartoon of all time. Sorry, After the Last Airbender, you're great, but Ben 10 was just it for me, dude. Like, I think I was like 7, because he mentioned 2005, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was 7.
And I was 5.
It was amazing. I kept waiting. And so I was like, when I turn 10 years old, the Omnitrix is going to fall out of the sky into my backyard, and I'm going to have the Omnitrix, and I'm going to be Ben 10. Didn't happen. I was crushed.
So me and Aaron, true story, me and Aaron actually bought Omnitrixes.
No, sir. No, sir. No. When I was young, I was gifted one by my grandmother for my birthday, and I kept it and maintained it to this day.
I had the OG Omnitrix as a kid.
The voice modulator one?
Yeah, the original.
I had that one too. That one got thrown away.
Yeah. That's what happened is mine got, stuff happened.
Yeah.
But now, to get that same exact watch is like $150.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't I keep it?
Yeah.
Because it's the best one, in my opinion.
I like the Alien Force one because it has the actual figures.
Yeah, I don't like the figures. I like just being able to just cut 4 arms, just fucking...
Well,
nice.
Well, the thing is, though, even if you don't have the things, it still like pops up, makes the noise, and you can just slap it, and it makes another noise. It doesn't exclaim the alien's name.
Yeah, I know.
Superior.
Not superior.
Also, it still fits on my adult wrist.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but you had to get the crappy reboot one.
Yeah.
Just to have an Omnitrix toy.
So yeah, I got the Omnitrix, and we actually,
Doesn't matter. We're in our 20s.
We'll go out in the backyard and play aliens.
Yeah, we'll do that shit. So you see, Ben 10 was a huge part of my life for so long because it went on for so long.
It was a huge part of my life too.
Ben 10 Classic, Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, Omniverse. I fell off at Omniverse. But
same here.
But like, it was part of my life for so long, and Omniverse kind of killed it for me for a while, and then like huge resurgence for myself. Not even when the reboot came out. I didn't know the reboot was a thing. But like it came back so hard for me. I fucking love Ben 10, and it hurts my heart when I listen to Overcast Production because Red and Indigo have seen Ben 10, but Red started at Alien Force and she was too old to watch the classic series and really appreciate it, so she doesn't like classic. It makes me so sad.
Because classic series is fun.
It is fun.
Really what it is. It's about having fun. And Ultimate Alien and Alien Force are about telling a long-running story. Yeah,
so classic basically introduced you to the world, the mechanics, the base characters.
And that's the thing I love about Alien Force and Ultimate Alien is they were meant for the original audience of Ben 10. It's like our audience has grown up.
Because it's been like
let's make a show.
It's been like 4 years.
Exactly. Let's make a show for the people who watch the show when it first came out.
So you know the final season of Ben 10 Classic wasn't meant to exist.
Really?
Yeah, but they realized that they needed more time to finish Alien Force. So they just gave Ben 10 another season just to give them enough time to finish Alien Force. That way, when Ben 10 ended, Alien Force could just start.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That's why if you look at the final season of Ben 10, the backgrounds are a little different. Because like Ben 10, like the first 3 seasons of Ben 10 had like this like textured background and everything. Like everything looked like textured and painted almost. And then like season 4, it was just a different it was a different background.
Huh.
And Ben 10 Classic had like 3 different endings, which was Ben 10 versus the Negative 10, Final Days of Summer or something like that. I don't remember what it's called. And then like Secrets of the Omnitrix.
Yeah, the final couple of episodes were just strange. Like they felt weird.
Like Ben 10 versus the Negative 10, and then like that like once like what's like oh Ben goes back to school, but it's like starts with like that comic book like for like with the same one like Gwen 10 started with, because like oh this is an alternate universe.
Yeah.
Which I like because eventually they're like when Alien Force comes around, you Professor Paradox is like no literally Ben 10 actually is a multiverse. There is a like that whole timeline where Gwen got the Omnitrix that happened, just not in this timeline.
Not in most timelines, to be fair.
I mean, it happens in some. I would assume there's just as many timelines where Gwen gets Omnitrix as Ben does. It's just, you know, Ben is the actual like fan favorite character. So like when they do multiverse things, there's one. It's like Spider-Gwen.
Yeah. It's like well, this is Prime.
Yeah.
Like,
This is the prime timeline.
This is the prime timeline. So like we already know that we could go on like a whole podcast.
So much Ben 10.
Probably on Ben 10.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do like make this
a whole
thing.
podcast within a podcast.
Yeah, a whole podcast within a podcast. So here's what I'm gonna say.
Okay, we will do that podcast once you have finished Omniverse, which is a lot harder now because now it's no longer on HBO Max.
Yeah.
And then you need to watch a few specific episodes from the reboot that I will just tell you which ones to watch.
And then after that, we will do a Ben 10 podcast talking about all of the series.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna skip.
Maybe 5 years, maybe the guys at the Ink Tank will see it and like link us, and maybe that'll jumpstart us. I don't know.
Okay. Who knows?
Who knows? I would really appreciate it, but we don't really post enough at this point.
Yeah. So we're gonna. We know that we love Ben 10.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron clearly loves it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I mean, it has that Pokemon angle where like there's just a bunch of aliens.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
To the next one, which is Squirrel Boy. And I'm not even know.
Squirrel Boy?
I don't even know if you know this show.
What? I did not like that show.
Yeah, me neither.
I didn't like it.
We're skipping to Class of 3000. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard of Class of 3000. So it's about a teacher who teaches students music. It's a music teacher, right? But the reason why it's called Class of 3000.
Because it's in the future?
No. Because the main character, the teacher, is voiced by Andre 3000 of Outkast, otherwise known as the guy that sings the song Hey Ya. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey
Ya. Yeah. Andre 3000, who sings that song, is the teacher in Class of 3000. Mm-hmm. And I really loved it as a kid. Like, obviously, like I said, I played that game. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, it was one of those shows that I was like, I couldn't figure out the name of it for a long ass time. This is it right here. So you had a rich boy, the rich boy with the blonde hair, right? Constantly hitting on this girl, right? Trying to get her to fall in love with him. He's like, I'll give you anything you want. And she's like, fuck off.
I want you to go away.
Yeah. And then you had like the like ginger bass player. And I there's not really a whole lot I can say about it without you knowing the context.
Yeah.
All I can say is that it was a very fun show. And if you can find it, you should go back and watch a few of the episodes because they're really fun. And I think it's something you would actually enjoy just because the characters are fucking hilarious. My favorite character is the violin girl. I don't know any of their names. My favorite character is the violin girl. You will see why. But we're going to go ahead and move on because there's not really much for you to say about that. Next up is another show that I watched all the time as a kid that I'm pretty sure Aaron doesn't like, and that's Chowder.
I thought Chowder was fine. Obviously, Schnitzel is my favorite character.
Yeah. Rada, rada, rada.
Rada, rada,
Rada, rada,
There's
rada.
that one where, like, he gets hurt and he swallows his scream and there's a rumbling that goes down his body and then out of his butt cheeks. Rada! That's so funny. And you guys, like, anyone who knows me, like, that kind of humor usually doesn't get me. That was so funny. That moment right there. It was one of those things when I was a kid, I would pause, laugh for 5 minutes, rewind, and then replay that one scene, and I'd do that again and again and again. It was hilarious. You know the sad part about doing that, though?
What?
Every subsequent time I would do like that, like next time I would watch that, it wouldn't make me laugh as much.
Oh, big sad.
Because I had, like, basically I'd like inoculated myself, I guess. His butt cheeks are wiggling. What else happened?
It was my favorite character too.
So there was speaking of games, the Cartoon
I'm
Network.
not your man, woman.
It's like, hey, what about me? No, you're not in this episode.
Like how meta it got was so fantastic. And it's like Chowder, like the little bunny girl. Like he's just like, stay away from me, woman. I don't want to kiss you.
$10,000. $10,000. That's outrageous. Because like back there, Cartoon Network had those.
Oh no!
They were like,
I spent our entire animation budget.
There's that one where like there was like fighting robots, and like you could have like, you know, Big Chill or Swamp Fire or like Zack Saturday or Schnitzel.
Yeah.
I remember like that was always how like they would read, because like the robot name, you'd click it and then they'd read the name of it, and it's like Schnitzel was always how they would read his name. So I would just repeatedly click on him just to get it to say Schnitzel. I thought it was funny.
I love the episode where Schnitzel's like, he starts losing his strength.
Oh, I remember that one.
Oh, dude, it was freaking hilarious. Like, I think it's like to a point where it's like, I think something part of him cracks, because I think he's a rock. I think that's what his like the thing is. It's like he's a rock. So like, there was also an episode where they had like, what's her name? The fairy girl, the wife of the chef. I think she gets trapped in like an elephant cage or something.
I'm thinking like either Truffle or Trudy or something.
I think it's
like that.
Truffle. Yeah. Chowder is definitely one of those shows that I could watch over and over again and have a lot of fun with it. But it was like, even as a kid, I was like, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Like 90% of the time.
It's like, you know the difference between pea soup and chopped beef? Well, anyone can chop beef, but no one can pea soup. It's like Chowder's like, because he's laughing and giggling the entire time that Mung is telling the joke, and like right when he says the punchline, Chowder's like, I can get it. And then it's like, all right, Schnitzel, you try. Rada, 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 rada. Mung, no, we're explaining that when you're older. But no, when you're older. Because they're like also making like singing bean soup or something like that, and like Chowder opens it before it's ready, so they're just like, I was like, no, instead, and then like it cuts to jump cut. It's like, all right, everybody, from the top. Everyone's got a song inside waiting to be free. And like just like literally just like going like dancing down the road, and then like a giant thing out of nowhere just comes up, just eats all the singing beans. It's like, well then. And that one episode where he had to pee.
Yeah, dude, that
He
show.
had to pee.
That show was just like 10 levels of crazy.
It was weird. It didn't quite get on Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy or like Flapjack.
Yo, dude, let's not even get on Flapjack right now.
It was a very weird show, but I would not say that it was horrifying. It was just odd.
Not horrifying, just weird.
I would put it along the same vein of Amazing World of Gumball, but like with like way less animation put into it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Moving on to the 2007 Transformers animated series.
With Tom Kenny and Starscream.
Tom Kenny voiced Starscream?
Yeah, in one of them.
I can't picture SpongeBob as Starscream.
Oh, it's not a great voice in my opinion. Mostly just because like I love Transformers Prime. Like that is my iteration.
Is that the one where Optimus is like
no,
a wrecking ball, like a
no
salvage bot or whatever?
Yes, but he does have the rank of Prime. Like he was a cadet bot, but like, he disagreed with some of the orders from higher ups, and as a result,
I type in 2007 Transformers and it comes up with a movie.
Cartoon Network.
Oh yeah, this is the one that I watched as a kid.
Yeah, with Kari.
Yeah, with the wrecking ball.
Yeah, that was Bulkhead.
Yeah, Bulkhead. Yeah, this is the one I watched all the time.
Yeah,
as a kid.
it was Optimus, Bulkhead, Bumblebee who talked in that one.
Starscream.
And another one. Like I don't know what it is. Like the fifth one's always
Ratchet.
Ratchet, and then like the motorcycle was like a ninja, and then he dies in the end of the series.
Ironhide, Jazz.
It was
Bumblebee.
It wasn't Bulkhead, really. It was Ironhide. Interesting.
Ironhide, Jazz, Bumblebee, Ratchet, and Optimus.
It was Jazz. I don't remember that being his name. Whatever.
Apparently, he was one of the characters in there.
I don't know. Like, well, after a certain point,
Like the motorcycle, I'm pretty sure that's Jazz.
After a certain point, other Autobots started coming down to Earth because initially, like when because Starscream shows up, like because
Starscream was the primary enemy, right?
No, Megatron is.
It was Megatron.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just basically what happens is like Megatron's ship crashed, so like his body was severely damaged. So like a scientist had to like put him back together, and as a result, Earth's like technology got supercharged.
Didn't we go back to rewatch that on Paramount like 3 years ago?
Yeah, but it was kind of hard to watch, honestly, for me. Like the animation was good, it's just the voice acting, I don't think was the best. Like I said, Tom Kenny as Starscream, fun pick. I didn't like it that much.
Fair enough.
Like I said, Transformers Prime was mine.
Speaking of mindfucks, moving on to the Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, I actually watched that a lot.
Come with me, we'll go and see a place called Candy Island.
And it's just like the imagery.
Oh yeah, horrific.
The horrific imagery going on in that show, and like it's just like, why are we having like?
It was like Jimmy Two Shoes, but for like Disney. No, not from Disney, but for Cartoon Network.
I was like, why are we showing this stuff to kids? Like the barber was just like, with the fucking candy wife, and it's just like do the realistic pictures of her face, like the skeleton. And it's like
they lived inside the whale's mouth.
And zombie. I'm like, bro, this is horrifying.
Yeah, I did not.
I liked it.
Like The Misadventures of Flapjack.
I loved it.
I did not.
But also, I understand.
It's like the episode.
Crazy.
It's the episode with the mermaid tears. They're just making a bunch of wishes, and the more they make wishes, the more the mermaid freaking deteriorates and rots.
Yeah.
And then it ends with her being oh, I'm no longer a mermaid. I'm now a sky maid. Goodbye, Flapjack. May all your dreams come true, even the scary ones. Yes.
Yes.
I did not like it. I didn't like it.
Yeah, not for kids.
No.
I still want to watch it though.
I would not watch it now.
I want to rewatch it. You know what? It's going on the list. If I don't have him covered already. It is still going on the list. Right after Life and Times of Juniper Lee.
That's not the same letter.
No, I already have L and M covered, so.
Misadventures of Flapjack.
I wish for a corn dog and a new hat.
That's 2 wishes. No, his phrase is 1 wish. There's 2 wishes.
I wish to go to Candy Island. Dude, you had the answer right in front of you.
Yeah.
And you fucked it up. The Secret Saturdays.
I rewatched The Secret Saturdays not that long ago.
That's all you.
It's 2 seasons of it. It canonically... Okay, so initially this was at the same time that Ben 10.
Oh shit, I accidentally skipped something.
Nope, what'd you
I
do?
accidentally skipped...
What'd you skip?
Okay, no I didn't. Okay,
You didn't?
we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
So it was on the same time that Ben 10 was on. And so they would make kind of cheeky jokes, in one scene it's oh, we're the secret scientists, and each secret scientist studies a different non-accepted science. That's why the Saturdays did cryptids, animals that ordinary science doesn't believe exists.
Yep.
And there's a screenshot of on the screen oh, these are villains that we deal with that trying to exploit it, and on that list is Dr. Animo.
Yeah.
And then there's another scene with this guy that does aliens in space. Is Great Galvin Prime. They made little cheeky references to Saturdays, but it wasn't officially confirmed that they're in the same universe until Omniverse, because you've seen that episode.
Yeah.
They just butchered their designs in Omniverse.
Still hot. The mom is
voiced
still
by
hot.
the same voice actor who does Shigo.
Hot.
No, incredible. And Drew Saturday, incredibly hot. You know what the great part about that was?
What?
Doc and Drew had a great relationship. They were a fantastic couple. They were great parents. They cared, and they didn't fight except when it came to matters between magic and science. But that was mostly like small bickering, less than actual like legitimate fights.
Yeah.
And a rare example of the dad not being a complete fucking moron. Like, he was an actual brilliant scientist, and the mother was raised by monks because she got separated while she was in the Himalayas from her family, where her parents died, and so she got taken in by monks who gave her flame sword.
Wow.
Yeah. So the dad doesn't really necessarily believe in magic. He believes everything is science. It's just whether or not we can explain it or not. And she's like, no, magic exists. There are things that you just can't explain in this world. He's like, no.
No, I explained it. That's magic. It's a type of science.
So, and then Zach turns out, because basically the entire thing is, there's this villain called V.V. Argost, who has this show called Weird World, where he kind of talks about cryptids and stuff like that. And Zach loves the show, but he's not supposed to, because he is a known in the secret scientist world, a villain who is on record to have murdered at least 40 secret scientists. Because at one point in time, they raided Weird World, the place where he lives, and there was 50 of them that went in, and only 7 came out. And so, the only one, the only ones that came out was Doc and Drew, and some of the other scientists that we see in the show.
Wow.
Yeah, because they discovered the Curse Stone when Zach was still inside Drew, she was pregnant with him. And basically the Curse Stone told you where to find Kerr. And Kerr was basically the source of all cryptids, is destined to basically bring upon the apocalypse of man.
Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, and so Zach, basically, Doc was like, okay, I like to explain things as, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So what we did that day released a great evil upon this world. And you, Zach, I think, are a great good. Equal and opposite. Because Zach has the ability to control cryptids. So they think that Zach is the only weapon they have against Kerr. Should Argost succeed and find him and release him. After season 1 ends, basically, Argost succeeds, he finds Kerr. But as it turns out, that was not Kerr. Merely his body. His spirit had changed vessels. Can you guess?
No.
Zach is the reincarnation of Kerr.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the second season is basically dealing with the consequences of, okay, now that we know that Zach is Kerr and he's destined to destroy the planet, and the thing about it is, it's the parents don't think twice. They're like, no, our son is not a monster. We're gonna figure this out. He's a good kid, and we love him, and we're gonna support him, and we're gonna make it through this no matter what. And it turns out that, Fisk, the big gorilla ape man kind of thing?
Yeah.
He called him the Fiskerton Phantom, because that's the cryptid around the area. Turns out he's a species called an Illurian, who were the species of cryptids who originally sealed Kerr away.
Dude, we
and
are
he's the last of his kind. So, and Secret Saturdays was one of those shows that did, in fact, get an ending.
This is good.
And basically how it ended, if you care.
Go ahead.
Okay. Basically, there was an alternate dimension composed of dark matter. So you have matter and then dark matter. And basically there, you had Zach Monday, who had the same powers as Zach, but opposite, dark. And so Argost, essentially, once he found out that Zach was Kerr, he basically broke into the Saturday's mansion to look at their files, and he found out about Zach Monday, and basically brought him into the world, and then stole the powers from him. It's not an ass pull. They explain exactly how he does it, and it makes perfect sense. It's not like oh yes, you see. It's it actually makes sense. And so now it's a war between Argost and Zach, basically fighting cryptids against cryptids. And that's another reason why it doesn't quite make sense for the Saturdays and Ben 10 to share the same universe, because there was a cryptid war and apocalypse. That happened, and there was no mind erasure involved.
I find it funny that Steven Universe is on current programming, but Steven Universe Future is on former programming.
Oh, interesting. I guess they're still showing reruns of Steven Universe.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt. I just saw that on the list.
And so it basically ends with like Zack and Argos gonna do like have a conversation, and then Argos does the same thing where he steals Zack's powers. But Zack's kind of just letting this happen. He's slowly dying because he's stealing his soul essentially to get his powers. Yeah, we saw like 10-year-old boy die on screen in this show.
Oh wow.
Zack Monday specifically, not Saturday, because we saw him die. But like his body was still there. It's like, he be dead, mate.
Oh.
Because
no.
whenever matter and dark matter interact with each other, like the weird things happen. Yeah, so it's like Zack, you don't understand. Something bad's about to happen. You mean the whole matter and dark matter thing and causing the world to fall apart? I think that'll stop happening once I get rid of you. And then Argos has his powers, and then that stops. So he be dead, mate.
Yeah.
So he steals Zack's powers, and then he literally is like, "Oh, by the way, you guess you don't really know what happens when matter and dark matter interact. But then again, you never really were much of a scientist." And so the powers are both in Argos, and he starts laughing maniacally. And then he fucking dies because the matter and antimatter inside of his body rip him apart.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so Argos, his hubris caused his own downfall.
Nice. I like that.
And it turns out Argos was a Yeti the entire time, and was the reason why Drew's parents died.
Wow.
Yeah, this show had a pretty neat bow put on it. The writing was pretty good. It had the whole, it turns out that the bad guy was my brother thing, but the brother just turned out to be like, I'm a mercenary, I just got paid, I have a family again, I'm good. So literally, like there's an episode where they break into Weird World again to save Fisserton, and the brother shows up, and they kind of and Doc doesn't trust him at all. He's like, "Oh, look at you! You're here. You're on Argos' payroll, aren't you?" He's like, "We don't have time for this. I saw the episode of Weird World just like you did. I know Fisk's in there, and we're gonna save him." He's like, "Wait, stop!" And he gets plowed through a wall, and I think he's dead. Turns out he's still alive. He's like, "I'm still racing you to Fisk." So he goes off on his own inside Weird World. And by the end, they save everybody. Everyone survives, and Doc literally goes, "Okay, you went in Weird World alone and came out of it alive. I may not like you, but you have skills that I don't have that Zack might need." So there are episodes where Zack just goes off with the other brother and just learns things. Like how to lie and deceive your opponent and do down and dirty things, because sometimes you need to do those things. Where he have his parents being straight-laced and kind and all that stuff. He's like, "Nah, okay, first rule, punches him in the face. Second rule."
So we're skipping over Ben 10.
Yeah, because it's Alien Force and
Yeah. Ultimate Alien.
yeah.
Generator Rex.
I actually didn't really watch that one.
I actually watched it quite a bit.
Another-
I don't
another-
remember
another Man of
anything about
Another
it.
Man of Action production. Basically, there was a thing that happened. Nanites.
I did like the fucking nanite fist. Just
Yeah.
I'm gonna punch you in the fucking.
Well,
face.
basically there was a you find this out in season 3. There was actually an experiment to create nanites. And there was an accident which released them upon the world, which caused some of them to be active, some of them to be inert. And basically, they started mutating humans by accident. Rex got blasted 6 months into the future.
Yeah.
With no memory. And he had the power to basically drain nanites from people. Not every case, there are certain instances where they were just uncurable. So Rex could generate, machinery, the generator, Rex. And so you had Six, who was the 6th most dangerous person on the planet. Because there's a whole episode where they all get together. Because the number 1 most dangerous man on the planet was an Evo. And basically he put himself in this isolation chamber over a volcano that every single day he had to put in a code to keep the thing from falling into the lava. And if he ever lost his mind, he wouldn't put in the code, and he would fall and he would die.
Wow.
So there's an episode literally where they go and check on him. So you meet 6, 4, 3, 5, you meet all, I think the 10. I don't know if you meet all 10, but you meet a number of them. And so when the episode's over, it is so I beat some of those guys. So what number does that make me? And he goes, Rex, it's not who's strongest, it's the most deadly.
Yeah.
I never really, like I said, the only reason I know all this is I watched Generator Rex Heroes Unite, which was the Ben 10 Generator Rex crossover.
Yep.
And I also watched the episode of the Ink Tank where they kind of explain some of that. I never even finished a full season. I watched a few episodes and I was like, this isn't really for me.
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
Because they had Bobo Haha, who was a monkey who liked bananas and guns.
Yep.
So
Moving on to Symbionic Titan.
That was another one of those shows where, like,
I never got to watch it, so.
you ever watch The Scene?
Yeah. The Scene.
I love Jordan Fringe's video on that. It's like, okay, yes, we're going to talk about The Scene. But before we talk about The Scene, we need to explain the context, because the context explains The Scene.
But I have seen The Scene.
But it does make sense in context, actually. It's not as gross as like people think it is.
The Scene.
The Scene.
No. Stop it.
Well, it's like this whole thing. It was kind of like a Power Rangers thing where like each of their robot suit, because one of them was just straight a robot. It was like mind, body, and heart coming together to form something greater than themselves. Symbiotic Titan, because they all like because Lance was like there's like a guard, and I think her name was Aurora, was the princess, and so that they were and then I don't remember the robot's name. Sent to Earth to protect her.
Yeah.
There was the coup because the general took over. And like they kept sending monsters to try to like kill her, or failing that bring her back, and so they would show up and then turn into a giant robot and punch the monsters. I think that got canceled. I don't think I got it. You know one of the reasons why?
Money.
They couldn't license any toys for it.
Yep. Which sucks because the show was actually good, so I hear. No, stop it.
Well, like I said, this is in that era when they were trying to generate stuff specifically for teens. But unfortunately for Cartoon Network, teens don't tend to buy as many toys, at least not back then.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So, because that's one of the main reasons that cartoons make money is through merchandise. That's why Ben 10 did so well. Fuck ton of toys.
Honestly, if they continued Symbionic Titan today, they could probably.
Yeah, but like so many shows are vying for like reboots and everything. We haven't quite hit the 2000s nostalgia yet.
Yeah, unfortunate.
I mean, we're getting there.
Robotomy.
I don't know that one.
The Problem Solvers.
Nope.
Secret Mountain Fort Awesome.
What?
I gotta look that one up.
What?
Secret Mountain Fort Awesome.
Oh, a face. You made a very distressing face.
Oh
no.
God.
Oh no.
Just to tell you, before I show you an image of this.
Oh my.
Let me tell you the creators, what other show they've
Oh,
worked on.
okay.
Uncle Grandpa.
Oh my.
That should tell you everything you need to know.
I've never seen Uncle Grandpa, actually.
No.
There was a crossover between Steve Universe and Uncle Grandpa. I've seen that. I recognize the art.
Gross! I fucking hate shows with that art style.
Yeah.
It's like that fucking, what's that guy with Chris Ray Gun? That Chris Ray Gun does a lot of stuff with, like the fucking, I fucking love milk, like, I fucking, the super...
You got the super nasally voice?
Yeah, with the super nasally voice that made that cartoon,
I don't really
Super
know.
Smiley Friends.
I've never seen it.
Oh, dude, it's bad. I hate that art style with a passion because it's just gross for the sake of being gross.
Yeah, I don't like gross cartoons. I don't like gross things in general.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Uncle Grandpa. Moving on.
Never watched it.
Mixels.
What?
Never heard of it, so let's see. Never heard of it.
All right.
Moving on. Clarence.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I know what
It's bad.
I know the show it's referring to, but I've never actually watched it.
Powerpuff Girls 2016.
The remake that I never watched.
I did. It's dumb. Don't watch.
Same energy as Teen Titans Go.
Yep. Well, actually worse.
Oh, it's worse?
Yeah, because it's not even trying to go for a different audience. It's just worse. It's like, you know how like Teen Titans Go like kind of kidifies Teen Titans? Well, the new Powerpuff Girls is just like, it's Powerpuff Girls, but like in the modern age. That's all it is.
I realized we didn't talk about the 2011 Thundercats reboot, which means it's
gonna be
in a different section.
Yeah, it's in the Warner Bros. section.
Ah.
Oh, Mighty Magiswords.
That one was... I liked the concept for it, but like, I never really...
I thought the concept was cool. It's like, oh, they have different swords for different situations.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, there's that one like internet comic of like just like swords and everything's just swords.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
Okay, KO.
I think it might make better shorts than full cartoons.
Apple and Onion. I'm gonna just rapid fire.
Yeah, because I don't think. Yeah.
Victor and Valentino, Mau Mau, Infinity Train, Steven Universe Future, which is Steven Universe, Tig and Seek, and the Fungies.
Another cartoon I just realized we didn't talk about, as far as I can remember, on Nickelodeon was Edgar and Ellen. Just finding out like all these cartoons from like stuff that we just didn't talk about in previous podcasts.
Now we're moving back to Warner Bros. Animation.
How long is that list? Because we might need to call it here as a podcast if it's too long.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then after that is Hanna-Barbera, William Street Studios, which has some stuff that I know we'll talk about, all the live action shows that are coming out on Cartoon Network, the preschool ones, anthology series, mini series, short series, which we'll skip over all that, then programming from Hanna-Barbera, which is
a bunch of stuff, which probably will have to rapid fire through. I'll probably know some of them, but like
a lot.
So
and then programming from Warner Bros. Animation
Oh.
Studios, which is stuff like Animaniacs.
Yeah.
And then like the Batman show, so like the series.
So just getting into Warner Brothers stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then programming on Adult Swim.
Yeah. So there's
acquired programming.
So I think what we'll do is we'll go through Warner Brothers and then we'll call it there. For this podcast, because I feel like while there's a lot,
we can do a whole nother 3-hour podcast on the next one.
Yeah, but like some of that will just be rapid fire. Don't know. Okay.
Okay, here's a 20-minute tangent on Batman the Animated Series.
Yes, because I'm watching through it right now. I'm on season 2 or 3.
Okay, so let's do Warner Bros. First up, fucking firing off the bat with Justice League.
Oh, so sad we're talking about that one and not like Batman the Animated Series first. Because like, no offense, like Kevin Conroy, untouchable performance as
absolutely
as animated Batman. Live action, obviously he's a voice actor, but like it's like little. Okay, you know they tried out like over like 500 auditions for Batman.
Really?
And then Kevin Conroy walks in and says 2 words, and they go him. Because Kevin always brought like an idea like Batman is a Shakespearean character, and always brought that to his performance for him. If you watch Batman the Animated Series, he's not great in the first bit. Like it takes him a while to find his footing. Mark Hamill as the Joker immediately just nails it, but like that's a bit of an easier role in my opinion.
Mark Hamill is just a crazy individual.
Yeah.
And him playing, I feel like people are like, oh, it's so weird that he plays as Luke, or that he plays as these characters when he plays as Luke. And I'm like, no. It's weird that he plays as Luke Skywalker. Like it's weird that he plays as a sane
that was like his
individual.
That was like his big kick into.
Yeah, it was. And then he fucking voiced Joker and Firelord Ozai.
Yeah. Well, he's just got the range for it, man.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm good at being a fucking evil person.
I think he just, after filming Star Wars, is like, man, that was rough. I could handle anything after this. But like, you know, obviously Harley Quinn was like originally created, was never a comic character. Like,
yeah, she was created for the Batman animated series.
And she's a great character in that show. Some of the other ones, like
Justice League, not Batman.
Well, what I'm saying is, you have Batman and Kevin Conroy, and he's kind of hit or miss in that show. I don't really think they portray him the best as Batman, because a lot of times he makes a lot of stupid decisions.
Yeah.
Justice League Batman?
Yeah.
Dude!
Fucking like that moment that everyone points to when it's like, this is what Batman is.
Well, that was Justice League Unlimited, technically.
Yeah, but like, that's not on here.
Oh, well then I guess it's Justice League and Justice League Limited, all one.
Oh no, it's right here. It's after. Okay.
Well, so we'll just talk about it all in one.
All in one.
Yeah.
Like with Ace, and it's just like, she's like, I'm
Hard.
gonna die.
It's
like, I'm fucking in tears from this cartoon for children.
Yeah, it's like she's about days, maybe hours from having a massive brain hemorrhage and exploding and like killing everyone within a 10-mile radius. The hot girl goes, okay, I'll use advice to kill her, and Batman goes, no, I'll do it. Like, sure, Batman gonna kill a child? 100% we believe him.
Yeah.
He just walks in, and he's like, she read his mind, and she's very sad, because now she realizes she's going to die, and there's really nothing she can do about it. So this whole thing is like, I was like, I let you in because I knew you wouldn't use her device on me. It's like, no. And he just throws it.
Yeah.
And she's on a swing set, just swinging. She just talks about like how unfair her life has been. How she's been a weapon for Cadmus and everything. And how much she just didn't get a childhood or anything. And he's like, will you sit with me? I'm scared. And he does. He just sits on something, and then he holds out his hand for her to take. And he just holds his hand with this little girl, and then he carries her out because it's like whether or not that she was gonna die and like cause a massive explosion, like Bruce was not gonna let her final moments
Be alone.
Oh my goodness,
Like-
the Justice League cartoon was just
Well, you could call a litmus test for what makes the best Batman. If your version of Batman could not be seen feasibly sitting next to a scared child and holding their hand, you have fucked up with your characterization of Batman.
Exactly.
He is more of a goody two-shoes paragon than Superman. He just doesn't like it when people die for obvious reasons.
Like that's the thing about the Justice League cartoon in general. Like, it nailed everyone's characterization.
Well, Superman
like
ended
Jon
up-
Stewart,
Yeah.
Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman especially.
Well, Wonder Woman's dealing with more of an origin story kind of scenario.
Exactly,
Like,
and
she fleshes out and becomes.
Now, I'm
more of
also a
character.
big fan of the that show single-handedly ingrained in my head the ship of Batman x Wonder Woman.
And then you have the Justice League War animated movie series where Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and I'm like,
no, Batman and Wonder Woman, and it's like, well, what about Batman and Wonder Woman?
Well, I'll say like Justice League Superman. I'm not perfect. Like, as in this is like the perfect Superman to me because like
No.
he plays more of a structural role in the team, not necessarily like I think Superman and the animated Superman TV show is a little bit better and has a better rapport with Bruce as Batman because like they're the two guys on the team that know each other's secret identities.
yeah. Oh, that one episode where who is it?
It's during the Thanagarian invasion.
No. When fuck, Lex Luthor takes
It's like
over the
they
Flash's body.
switch minds.
Yeah,
And
takes
he's
over
like,
the Flash. He's like, I can figure out who the Flash is. He
takes off the mask.
I have no
No
idea
idea
who this is. It's like, yes, that is what would happen.
It's like, at least I can find out this Flash's secret identity. I have no
No
idea
idea
who
who
this
this
is
is.
because he's in Central City and he's just some CSI like guy. He's like, yeah, why would he? He's like, obviously, you take off the mask. It's like Clark Kent in Metropolis or like billionaire Bruce Wayne. But it's like,
Who the fuck is this
who
guy?
the fuck is this guy?
Who's? Well, it's Wally West, not.
Obviously, it's Wally.
Yeah.
It's not Barry. It's Wally.
Yeah. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
But I love it, like, because I think it's in the season 1 finale of Justice League, where it's like the Thanagarian invasion happens, and it's like, okay, we're too inconspicuous. We need to strip down to normal clothes. It's like, whoa, guys, like, I know my friend, like, I have friends, you guys, but I don't know if I really trust you with my Clark Kent, Wally West, Bruce Wayne. And it's like, shut my mouth, I guess. It's
Yes.
like Bruce, the person who is probably, well, he actually lets quite a few people know who he is in the animated series, but like he is pretty fiercely defensive of his personality, of his secret identity for people
Yeah.
that he does not trust. So him just being like, you shut up. We're doing this. First of all, Diana doesn't have a secret identity. Martian Manhunter
Is a
Martian. Is like, and Green Lantern, he doesn't even fucking wear a mask.
Like he says, "Hi, I'm Jon Stewart."
It's like, what does it matter? I do feel like the reason why Jon Stewart is the Green Lantern and not Hal Jordan and why Wally West is not because in that current run of comics, those were the because I think Barry had died from
I like Jon.
from Crisis on Infinite Earths.
I like Jon Stewart more than
It just depends on
than
who's,
Hal Jordan,
it
anyways.
depends on who's writing
And
him.
Wally West is the best Flash.
It just
Barry Allen.
depends on who's writing him.
Barry Allen is just boring.
No, I like him in Young Justice.
No.
Fuck you.
Wally West is the definitive Flash. Like, he's faster than Barry Allen.
Young Justice.
He's funnier than Barry Allen.
Debatable.
He's not as smart as Barry Allen.
No.
But, you know, that's what makes him interesting.
Yeah.
Because he's dumb.
Yeah, Justice League. Because the thing about Justice League is really like,
I'm the fastest man alive.
There'll be
no
like-
wonder you can't get a date.
it'd be like, okay, these 2 episodes are gonna have a plot, and then these 3 episodes are gonna have a plot, and then these 2 episodes are gonna have a plot, and then these 3 episodes are gonna have a plot. It's just like,
And then this season's gonna have a plot.
no, they didn't really do that, honestly.
Yeah, they did it with that, with one of the seasons of Unlimited.
I don't remember there being like a season-long plot in Unlimited.
It was like maybe
I guess because there's like a whole thing where it's like there was like like where like Luthor was like after he's like trying to find the things of Brainiac's like
Yeah.
So you're right. So Unlimited did have like a season arc in like the 2nd season. I'm pretty sure. No, was it the first? No, it was the 2nd season because the 1st season finale was with Luthor and Brainiac.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I just love how they were like, oh yeah, we're just gonna pull whatever character we want.
Because it's Justice League Unlimited.
You don't really see Marvel ever do that.
Like the faceless guy, like I can't remember his name.
The Question.
The Question, yeah. Dude, fucking like the episodes
and he's
that they did with him.
his relationship with Andres.
Yes, dude. I loved it. I loved watching those episodes with him.
He's like, so what are you wearing? Blue jacket, tie. You're really bad at this. Corduroy socks. I love the whole thing where she's like beating up thugs for him while he's like on the computer typing things the whole time. It's like, are you almost done there? It's like, all right, I got the data. It's like, oh great, now we can go to dinner. What do you mean? I'll be listening to this on this tape for hours. I'll need to. Want to go see a movie? Because you're just staring him down like, no, motherfucker.
No, we're doing this my way.
We're doing this. It's like, I am a hot, sexy woman. Be with me. Because I love the whole thing where like they first get together. The whole thing is like she's like there's a problem and I need it. Like nobody's listening to her. The Question just goes and helps her out. And this whole thing go through the episode is like, hey, you never explained why you went through all this trouble to help me. Because I like you. And he just walks over and grabs him by the ties, pulling him. He's like, where are we going? he's like, that is the question. Dude,
I love the Question.
It's so funny.
And also like Green Arrow and
yes!
Black Canary in that
yes!
show.
That's what makes me so sad about fucking Arrow from the CW is like they just made him Batman and like didn't do anything that makes Green Arrow as a character so good.
Yeah.
And then they got rid of the Batman persona as thing.
He is straight up a Paragon, like 100%.
That was literally his whole thing, where it's like he refuses to join the Justice League initially because he's like, you guys tend to forget about the little guys while you're focusing on giant monsters. Batman is like, you know, those little guys tend to get stepped on when we fight those giant monsters, right?
Yeah.
So he had to basically kidnap Green Arrow. It's like, here's still Justice League, and he's like, nah, no way. He's like, fine, we'll put you back down. Ah, you ain't rearranging my atoms again. He'll take a ship down.
I love Green Arrow in that
That's
show.
basically how he ends up getting struck into this thing because like
and his relationship with Black Canary is also fucking beautiful.
I know she fucks around with him too. Like
the time.
When she first meets him, it's like, oh, you look pretty good. Because like the episode literally ends with him like taking a shower after like this radiation battle, this giant fucking kaiju monster thing, and he's like, whoo, nice shower. He's like talking to Batman. He's like, nah, man, I ain't doing this stuff. This is crazy. The only reason he looks over and he sees Black Canary like slowly like pulling her boot up her leg, and Bruce just smiles and goes, so we'll see you back here. And he goes, you know, you just might.
Dude, it reminds me of the fucking comics. Like, I know this is not the show, but like in the comics where they're like, it's Black Canary, Green Arrow, and their son, right? And he's shooting an arrow, and it sets off a nuclear blast. And then his wife, and then Black Canary, who's his wife at this point, is like, you kept that in our house with our child?
I put
and
it
he's
on
like,
a
I put it on the top shelf.
I love like there's like this scene in Ultimate and Unlimited where it's like Superman is like busy doing something, so like they have to get like other heroes for a parade in Metropolis, and they get like Green Arrow and like some guy from the like that one like gunslinger dude with the mask.
Dude, I loved him
like,
as a kid.
And like Star Spangled, whatever.
Yeah.
Thing. And he's like, where's Superman? Man, this sucks whole thing. And he's like, no, that ain't right. Look here, this is like, so it's like pitching all these people. It's like, these are real American heroes.
Yeah, dude, like.
And then like the general shows up taking this whole thing. They just start beating the crap out of them. And he's like, we need backup right now. And it's like it shows up. It says like, my old sidekick. And this guy, he's like, hey, whoa, hey, now. And they start shooting arrows, like, they're just, like, unleashing arrow after arrows, they're backing up. This guy just walked over them and was like, hey, no, this isn't working. He was like, use the quantum arrow. I thought you said, this is an emergency! They just let it loose on him. The thing I love about that so much is that these guys can't touch the villain. They are doing nothing to this guy. And, like, literally, he's about to kill them. And this little old lady, this normal human, who, by the way, they were like, kind of shit-talking these heroes before, at the beginning of this, and this whole thing is like, stop. He's like, I'm doing this for you. It's like, you're doing this for us? How many of us do you need to kill before you can keep us safe? This whole thing is like, it wasn't the heroes that talked him down, it was a normal, everyday citizen, where it's like, these people are heroes, and you've been fighting them, and you're about to kill them, and look at all the damage that has happened because of you. You came here to pick a fight. You wanted Superman, but you got these guys instead, who didn't stand a chance, and they put everything they had to protect us from you.
Yeah, dude, like the gunslinger guy was like my favorite, because like I was like, you know how I love westerns.
Yeah, I didn't know that character
Like that's
at
one.
all
I
in the
think
comics.
the arc where they went back in time to the Old West.
Which one?
The one where they went to the Old West.
I don't remember them going to the Old
Oh, you
West.
don't remember that one?
Mhm.
Oh man, the Gunslinger was obviously a part of that one. Like, it
I
was,
remember they went back to like the 1940s for World War II, and then like that's episode.
I remember that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to go back. It's, you know what? It's on the list.
I can't go watch this so often.
Oh, it's already on the list.
Yeah. It's like with blue and red. Is every time they bring it up, it's like I gotta rewatch Justice League. Fuck, man. Because it really is. It is so good. I thought this was one episode like where like Wonder Woman and like Superman get like Flash hypnotized to think the other one is a monster, so they're just like go to town on each other and this whole thing. And then Superman realizes first that Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman because he sees her reflection and he's like, oh, it snaps him out of it. And so he's like, Wonder Woman, listen to me. And this whole thing is he's just like letting her like go to town on him. And he's got her at the throat like it's like where's the whole thing? And he just kind of points. And she looks at him and he's like, oh no. He's like, yeah, I tried to tell you.
Because Wonder Woman, a lot of people,
She's really powerful.
Yeah, she's powerful. Like she wouldn't win a fight against Superman.
No.
But like, she could hold her own.
Yeah,
in a
remember
fight
that
against
one
Superman.
time when she's fighting this one guy who's like divinity, but like pulling all of his immortal shards from all across time and space all at once, and she blocks literally every single one of them?
Yep. Wonder Woman OP.
She did that once. That's my problem with DC Comics specifically, is that they're all just fucking ridiculously, stupidly powerful.
Like,
remember that one time Hal Jordan took on the complete combined willpower of the entire universe with his own willpower? That was in the universe's willpower? His willpower outwilled his own willpower and then also the rest of the universe? No! Doesn't make any sense.
Like they literally have a canonical end of the universe, and and I don't mean like the universe is ending. I mean like the edge of the universe in fucking DC Comics.
Yeah.
And it can it gets torn down.
Yeah, you know how Jason Todd originally came back in the comic books?
Oh.
Because the Superman Prime punched the universe real hard. Superboy Prime
Oh my god.
punched the universe real hard, and the ripple effect brought Jason Todd back to life. This was post-Crisis.
Wow. Let's move on to the next Warner one.
Yeah, DC animated like movies and TV shows are great to talk about. Not the comics.
Teen Titans, which we already
We talked about a
Teen
whole
Titans
bunch. It's so good, man.
Go. Duck Dodgers.
Duck Dodgers. So the funny thing about that is that's actually a there was like a couple of Looney Tunes cartoons like Duck Dodgers in the 21st and a half century, and they turned that into its own standalone show.
Yeah, I remember
like
that.
like the Martian Queen, the mouthless girl, yeah, she's from that.
Yeah. Do you even know how to use that? I've never gotten any complaints from the ladies. And then she starts blushing.
Yeah.
That's from the Looney Tunes show, but like, still love it. Like,
No, they would. There's literally this one episode like the Martian general who is not, Marvin the Martian.
yeah.
Who was like, there's like having a sword fight with Dodgers, and like, I loathe you. You love me? What? No. Ew, you love me. Like that was kind of the level of writing on this show. It was fun.
It's fun.
It's a fun show.
Batman the Brave and the Bold. I love the voice for Batman. I know it's not. I'm pretty
There
sure.
are episodes that I liked.
I like the art style. One of my favorite episodes. Now I don't know if you remember this, but they did the Reverse World, where like all the villains are heroes.
With Owlman.
Yeah. And then you have like the Joker is like the leader of the Justice League.
Yeah, the Red Hood. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is beautiful. And then you have Joker and Batman working
Like,
together.
The next episode.
Yeah.
Because Owlman went to Batman's university. It locked him in a cell, but we went back to that universe. And so, because he's Owlman, aka Batman, he broke out and used one of Bruce's old costumes to then start doing crime as Batman to fuck with Batman. Because how dare he?
Yeah.
And so the only one who knew was Joker. He's like, that's not Batman. That ain't him.
That's not
Batman. That's the funny thing about Joker is he always knows. So that was the one time where like Batman is quote unquote dead, and so Dick has to become Batman.
Yeah.
And like Joker just stops being Joker.
Yep.
He just stops and he's like, there's no point anymore, because the only reason Bird Boy would be doing this is if the big man, if he's gone, And he ends up talking to Jason Todd.
Yeah, and then
Not
he
even
gets stabbed in the eye.
realizing who he is, but Jason figures out who he is just from how he's talking about it. And then he's like, so you're alive. He's like, so you're alive, and Bruce is dead. No. Just he's like, tell the big man I said hello. And then Joker just starts laughing as he realizes, oh fuck, it's you.
You're the boy I murdered with a crowbar.
Because
I find it funny because like this, I follow this guy on TikTok, right? That he talks about it. He's like, if you go back to Joker in the original comics, like before like the early 2000s,
when he was just a serial killer,
he was an idiot. Like literally when he kills Jason Todd, like as he's killing it, he's just doing it for fun, just to kill Jason Todd, and immediately after doing it, he's like, I fucked up. What did I do? What am I? He's like, how do I fix this? No, the bat is going to fucking kill me. What do I do?
I mean, the Joker always tries to like push Batman's, but he's like,
Oh, absolutely.
He's like, oh no.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, he was just dumb. Like before, like modern Joker is like, yeah, it's like he's smart like Batman, just insane. Yeah,
he knows specifically how to trigger Batman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, he was just dumb back then.
Well, the original version of Joker was just a serial killer.
The hammer of unisex, or the hammer of justice is unisex.
You wouldn't hit a woman, would you?
You wouldn't hit a woman, would you?
No, she has like she has
a feminine voice.
Like, you wouldn't hit a woman, would you? The hammer of justice is unisex. Like, there are episodes like one, for example, with Neil Patrick Harris as the Music Meister.
Yes. Dude, I think Batman the Brave and the Bold is very fun to watch.
Oh my god!
I
think Blue Beetle in that show is voiced by the same guy who does Ron Stoppable.
I'm not shocked by that.
And Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond.
Wow.
So there are two Batman in this show. I didn't like how they characterized Aquaman in that.
Oh yeah.
Outrageous.
Oh yeah, you know what? I love like that.
He was a fun character.
Like
but...
Captain Atom, he would just be bang, 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 dead. And then he's like, what? Batman is clean. And he's like, fucking love Aquaman and that. He's like, man, who the fuck was that? And then Batman proceeds to give the entire life story of Captain Atom. And he's just like, bro, you do not want to fuck with Batman.
Oh man, I think it's just so.
Brave and the Bold is fun.
It was a fun one, but it's also
fun.
a weird one. Like that one time he went to that one alien planet and ended up being Bat Superman with another not quite Batman. It's like the whole thing is like, oh, I see, you're a superhero. I guess you were inspired like me by one of these. This giant monstrous bat creature's like, yeah, something like that.
All right, we already talked about Scooby-Doo.
Do you remember Mad?
Yes, I remember
Mad TV. It's like basically
there was one episode. There's one mini cartoon that they had that I actually liked.
It was like Robot Chicken,
and it was Moneyballsy. It was a Moneyball.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Yes, that was great. I loved that. If you haven't seen that, I will show. I will show you.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's so funny.
And I love the Spy versus Spy.
Yes, Spy versus Spy was great.
I think Mad had a lot of Mad was one of those ones where it was like a series. It was like skits.
Yes.
Animated skits.
Yes.
Is what it was. So you could like the series, but not like all the skits.
No.
I liked a lot. It was
hit or miss.
It was very hit or miss. So in all honesty, it's one of those ones where I pull up a compilation of best skits in Mad, and I would be totally fine with just watching that.
That was another one.
But you can't even find Mad is the problem.
Yeah, that was another one that had kind of a WarioWare style mini
very
game on CartoonNetwork.com.
Yeah, very much. Young Justice.
We're just gonna talk about the first 2 seasons of Young Justice.
Because we haven't finished the 3rd season.
And there's a 4th one apparently.
Oh my god.
Young Justice did the thing that DC always does. It went a little too long, got a little too serious, got a little too dark.
I don't think it was too long. I just think it got too serious.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It definitely needed that 3rd season.
It went on long enough.
Yeah.
Because the first season was so good, dude. It was so fucking good, man. And the second season got a bit more serious, and the things that happened.
Which is fine. And the 3rd season's
those
literally
first 3 episodes, took so much wind out of me. It's like,
Yeah,
this has
literally,
all been dark.
The
and
reason why we stopped
depressing.
watching it halfway through the season was because we were like,
It got
we
too-
need
it
to
was
take a break.
too
Like, this
heavy.
is too dark.
It was too heavy, man. Like, because the 4th episode, perfect timing. Yes, Dick Grayson and
Roy?
Roy
Just
going to
into
security guards.
business,
Like,
yes.
just dress up as security
That's like,
guards,
this
and then they get robbed by Brick, and it's like, why are these fucking security guards
So
kicking our
good.
ass?
This was so good. Yes. Right where we needed
We
it.
needed that, but the problem is we needed more of that.
Yes, please. That's what we needed, man.
Like, honestly, if you told me, like, okay, so you have Robin from Teen Titans and Robin from Young Justice. They're pretty different, honestly.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, Teen Titans are a little bit more serious.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're both Dick.
No, they're both Dick
Yeah.
Grayson. They're both Dick Grayson. But, like, their characterization is pretty different. Because, like, you have, like, Dick being like, okay, so I have Batman. Stoic. Batman. I'm funny.
Yeah.
So, while the Joker's over here, talking smack, Batman stoicing, nah, bitch, I'm gonna talk so much shit. Of course, Joker in Young Justice was, like, I didn't like him that much, actually.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't think he was a very good Joker. He didn't contrast with Batman.
Yeah.
But, like, Dick was so good. Wally was great. I loved him a lot. Superboy, Nolan North.
Wally.
Wow.
Fucking dead.
I loved Megan.
Spoiler alert.
Spo-
Wally dies.
Wally, season 2 finale, Wally dies. And apparently does not come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. They bring his voice back for season 3 for a Beast Boy having, like, a freaking, like, internal crisis monologue thingamadoo.
Weird, yeah.
Yeah, like a character growth coma.
Yeah, no, I do love that. Like in the first season, they're like,
And they
like,
bring-
like Aqualad is like they're like, hey, I understand. We all agree, Robin, you clearly are the best choice for being a leader,
But he wasn't ready yet.
but you're not ready yet.
Because
So
he-
we're gonna have Aqualad.
Because all of it's like
and even Robin was like, yes, I understand this. I am not ready to be the
they
leader.
thoroughly explain is like, yes, you have the most experience out of all of us, but your roles as Batman is defined. You do not need to speak. A leader must be clear and concise.
Yep.
And so it was like, so I'm supposed to hold everyone's hand. You're right. Calder, you should be the one to lead us. And Wally is like, what do you mean I can? Wally, come on, we know. All right. Because that was the thing about it. It was just Dick and Wally having a pissing contest, and then it was like, Calder, like, yeah. I was just like, all right, I will take the lead until you are ready to carry the burden. It's like, yeah, and then he just goes on to be the leader of the Justice League, which I don't hate, but also I'm like, Batman. If they had waited to reveal that Calder was the leader of the Justice League after Batman quit the Justice League in season 3, and then Calder became the leader, I would buy that.
Yeah.
Because obviously at that point, Aquaman is probably just retired, just be fully being king.
Yeah.
Probably because he didn't want to deal with the United Nations. Stuff like that.
I'm tired of dealing with the UN.
Well, it's because like, he's like literally a king of a nation, being in the Justice League. So there's probably some political shenanigans he had to deal with. But whatever. I liked Young Justice season 1 peak, season 2 okay. The problem was that every single season starts focusing on different characters and leaving the characters we all fell in love with season 1 behind.
So, interesting little tidbit for you about this podcast. We are already past the Disney podcast in time.
Yeah.
We are not even a third of the way through the list.
We said it. We said it.
We said-
From the very first one, we said it.
Let's be complete. There might be a possibility of 3 parts to this.
Well, we're just gonna keep.
We're
on
gonna see
going.
what happens.
I'm not gonna shorten my statements.
No, absolutely not.
No.
No, we should do what we need to do.
Yeah.
But like, this might turn into a 3-parter.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep going.
No, fuck.
Why you do this?
Thundercats 2011 reboot.
Man,
I like it.
I like it.
I like it.
I
I like it. I'm not gonna
man.
lie.
No, it was good. I liked it. My dad did not. He did not. Because like he and I watched the 80s Thundercats together. And we liked it.
Your dad's old.
But it was the 80s version. Like,
Yeah.
So like, it's like the whole thing is like Lion-O has character growth in like the first episode, and then it's just everyone's static from that point on. And the 2011 reboot, yeah, it was a little darker, a little more serious, like Lion-O was an actual, like, in the first, literally, it's like, oh, Lion-O is like a child, and then his body ages 10 years, but he's a full-grown man with the body child. No, this one he's just a teenager. He's not ready to be king. He has to learn how to be king, being some of the last of his species. So, the thing that really killed my dad, oh yeah, Chitara, yep. Yep.
Fucking hot.
Like, making Wily Kit and Wily Cat actually children is a neutral move in my opinion, because they were smaller than the other ones, but, like, you know, their personality stayed pretty similar in my opinion. Also, having there being literal children there kind of adds to the horror of this all.
Oh, absolutely.
So, like, and the thing that killed my dad when we first watched it, like, absolutely, like, I can't watch this show anymore. So whenever the first episode was like, oh yeah, Panthero's dead.
Fair.
But then, like, a couple episodes later, we find out, no, he's actually alive. He was just, they lied about him being dead. Because Panthro in this one is, like, the gritty, like, veteran who's like, yeah, no, I've been fighting, like, shit for, like, a long time. They gave all the characters actual personality.
Yes. Oh, I do love Panthro. Panthro is one of my favorite
Panthro's
characters.
great. Like, when he sacrifices his fucking arms to get rid of his, like, defeat of your enemy is worth any sacrifice. Just loses his arms. Just get robot arms.
Dude, okay, so I liked Thundercats in the 1980s. I do love those.
Mhm.
I love the reboot. I know it did not do well.
No.
I actually want
They
to.
didn't give it a chance. People
You know
just
what?
didn't give it a chance.
You know what?
Ended on a cliffhanger.
It's going on the list.
It's like, everyone had character, there were character arcs, there was an interesting plot, there was shit going on. My dad was like, oh, they're mutants, like, why are they lizards like that? It's like, no, because well, first, like, lizard, and then monkey, and jackal, like, they just fit into the role of just being other animal species. Why are the Thundercats just cats? They're an alien. These are mutants? Why not just make them other aliens? Like, what was the big deal? I mean, obviously, like, this is me arguing with, like, you know, it's like, what's the big deal, man? We're over here talking about Teen Titans Go sucks because they ruined this character.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like different structure, different folks. It's different things matter to different people depending upon when you watch certain shows.
Yep.
But-
Chitara's hot.
Yeah, you said this.
I gotta reiterate. Like, you saw the photo I showed you. That is a fucking frame from the show.
Oh, I'm aware.
Hot.
Yeah. That's the thing about that. It's also like, there was really no romance as far as I was aware in the 80s one, and this one is like, no, there's
It's
like there are 3 men and 1 woman, and you are the last.
Panthro does not care.
No, he doesn't, because he's a veteran, and she's like, what, like?
Panthro was like, I am not getting involved in this shit.
And it's like, no, like teenage angst, I'm good. Nah,
Exactly.
Nah. Also, like with Wily Kit and Wily Cat, like you find out their backstory. It's like they were on a farm, and they like 3 younger siblings. They had a mom and a dad, and they were like, oh, this is nice. And their dad fucking died in like a natural disaster.
Yeah.
And so the farm couldn't get kept up, so the mom literally couldn't even feed all the kids, so she didn't eat. So Wily Kit and Wily Cat, who were like 7 years old, are like, let's go off and find that treasure that's from that story mom always tells us, so we can come back with money, and if we don't find it, well, then they don't have to worry about trying to feed us anymore. I'm like, oh!
Why?
So, like, you find out that the song she sings on her little flute is the lullaby her mom used to hum to them.
Oh my god.
Her like, this is so tragic.
Okay, before we move on, because we're about to move on, I have to say one last thing.
You say Chitara's hot again.
Chitara is hot.
I know you.
A little too well.
Well, it's also like Chitara's really the only one with like powers, because she's like super speed, and like Lido has the sword, but it's just the sword that has powers, not really him. So it's like, why she got super speed? Nobody else has superpowers.
Because she's hot.
I mean, they basically simplify that Panthro is the strongest in the original one, so but they basically don't like super strength. He's just like stronger than everyone else because he's like twice their size.
All right, moving on to a show I think you watched. I know I watched, but I didn't really love it, which was Green Lantern, the animated series.
I watched that because it came out around the same time that Young Justice came out.
Yeah.
And they were in like the same time block. It'd be like DC Universe takes over, Cartoon Network, this stuff. It's like, so I watched the first season. It was pretty good. Basically, you know the premise.
Yeah, no, like
there was
they
like
got on the ship, and it's him.
Basically,
Kilowog.
Kilowog.
It was him and Kilowog mostly.
Yeah, basically,
They're
Hal
patrolling.
Hal went to Oa, and then a Green Lantern ring fell to Oa, which means a Green Lantern has died.
Yeah.
Now Green Lantern rings tend to do a process where it's either they either A, seek another worthy soul if they're within range, or they return to Oa. Those are the 2 ways that Green Lantern rings function at the death of either the death or the near death. So that it turns out, like, they scan the ring, it's like, oh, this is like an outer rim. Like, this is a ring that came from like the edge of Guardian space. And And so it's like, so somebody killed a lantern. Like, yes, this has been happening. There have been multiple lantern deaths, and you didn't tell us. He's like, we're investigating the situation. It's in border space at the edge of space. Hal's like, yes.
Going there.
So he steals this experimental ship with its own AI, and he talks to Kilowog about it. And Kilowog tells him about the ship, and he's like, now Hal, don't you go and doing something stupid? Come on, Kilowog. When have I ever done something stupid? Later that night sneaks in. Hey Hal, you forget one of these. He pulls up 2 batteries, because Kilowog's like, I'm going with you. Now we prepared. You dumbass is gonna go in there without a battery. So they go there, and basically, like, Hal has to, like, talk to Aya and explain to her, like, you know, because she's an AI, she's fresh, she's new, she knows it. And Hal is a fighter pilot.
Yeah.
Who's like, I get to fly a spaceship. So they go to Outer Rim Guardian Space, where they start, like, you know, they find the Red Lanterns. And the Red Lanterns, obviously, you know, they're fueled by hatred.
Yeah.
And they start killing Green Lanterns because I don't remember the exact motivation behind it. Apparently, like, I don't know. But in the process, they come across one of the Red Lanterns. They capture him, basically, and he ends up joining the team. And then Aya, the AI, builds a body because Hal is like, he's like, oh, Green Lanterns sacrifice themselves for the greater good. He's like, but you're not a Green Lantern. How am I not a Green Lantern? We use the same energy source? And so things like, well, you don't have a body. He's like, and then just builds a robot body. It's like, there, now I am a Green Lantern. He's like, I have no more arguments.
Oh yeah.
And then
hot robot lady.
Yeah, and then like her and the Red Lantern have like this kind of romance thing because her face, the face she projects.
Yeah.
Originally, they dropped off the Red Lantern at like a prison, and in the prison, they have yellow crystals, and you know why that's a problem.
Fear?
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically what happens is the prison warden, they're like a spider species, so they literally mentally torture their inmates before eating them.
Ooh.
So Hal finds out about this, and of course he can't, you know, because the Green Lantern is surrounded by like all the yellows, he can't release his powers.
Red Lantern.
There's one point where they have to go into a cell filled with a bunch of Thanagarians and have to brawl. But anyway, so she goes into the Red Lantern's like simulation, like his brain simulation. You find out his backstory about how like he was poor with a woman that he loved, and their species like they went to war for like a coup to like bring better things. And then while he was off at war, she died, and he kept reliving these moments again and again and again. And so she basically like takes over the simulation like of her body. He's like, you must wake up. This is a simulation. He's like, I know. You know, yes, I know this is all fake, but I don't care because I get to see her again. And so the face of the woman he loved, she used because it was the only face that she had in like her database to use.
Oh wow!
And when he realizes that, he initially does not take it very well.
Oh no!
Yeah. And then season 2 happened, and I didn't really watch season 2.
All right, moving on.
It was a fun show.
Yeah, good show. I liked it.
The first episode, Hal almost blows his arm off by recharging his ring off of the main ship's battery source.
Fucking moron.
He was desperate. He was fighting against 2 Red Lanterns. He didn't have much power during. He's literally sprinting in like his ring is completely. He's not even in his Green Lantern costume anymore. It's like, Bright Save Black Side. You know evil side. You know Green Lantern fight. Like he's literally sprinting and jumps off a cliff to like to get it done.
Then we have Beware the Batman, which is that where Dreadlock Joker is?
No, that's the Batman. That was on WB.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is
which is going to be on
the
this,
3D, the 3D one with like with weird lip Batman.
Don't really like this one.
Actually, it wasn't that bad. I rewatched it. It was only one season. For some reason, Katana was in it.
And Pigman, man with the pig mask.
Yeah, the Doctor.
Yeah. Skip.
Lady Deathstrike? No, that's the Marvel character. What the fuck is her name? You know that one woman that's like super deadly in Marvel?
With the moon?
No, that's Katana. Okay, in season 3, Young Justice, you remember like the woman that like Deathstroke was like she was helping him like with the new League of Assassins?
No.
Well then, I don't remember her name.
Then we have something called Bunicula.
What the fuck is that?
Bunny.
Fluffy bunnies.
Oh, it's a bunny Dracula.
Okay.
I've never.
Never. Nope.
Justice League Action.
That's like a bunch of shorts, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Unikitty.
That was on That was on the Nickelodeon website. No, I've never seen it.
DC Superhero Girls. Which I actually kind of want to watch for one scene.
Never seen it.
I want to watch it for one scene that I've seen. And it's like Superman. All the Supergirls, right, are all there, you know, like all the, because it's all the teenage ones. So it's like Supergirl and Wonder Girl and all of them. Batgirl. And they're all like sitting there, right? And they're like, Superman's like, you're not going anywhere. And they're like, what are you going to do? Stop us? Do you think we're scared of you? And he's like, no, I won't, but he will. And then Batman shoots out of his plane and lands next to him. And they all look terrified.
Yes! Yes!
I'm like, this single scene has made me want to watch this show for children.
I mean, this whole thing where it's like, he's like, Superman's a big softie. He's not gonna try to hurt us. Batman, he might.
He might actually put us in the hospital.
Like he's like, oh, it's like if I have to break your legs to prevent you from doing something stupid, guess what? I'll pay for your medical bills.
Because it's like Supergirl, Wonder Girl, like a female Green Lantern. It's like all these fucking like god level, and it's like they're scared of Batman.
Yeah, because he's a normal ass human who deals with the same shit they do.
I love it. And then Batgirl's like, just like, God, we don't want this fight.
She's like, I'm trying to play it cool, but I'm 100% not.
Like, we do not want this fight.
Nope.
I want to watch that show. Oh, and then Thundercats 4.
I've seen that was by WB. Why, man?
Yep. The same people who made the really good 2011 reboot.
I guess they're like, fine, we tried to make it and you didn't like it, so here's the shit. It's like, I remember like this like comic that's kind of in the art, that's kind of in the style of DC Girl, whatever.
Superhero Girls.
Yeah, and it's like Batgirl is like, you know, like fighting, I think, the Penguin or whatever, and like Supergirl and she's like, happy birthday, Batgirl. I was like, oh, thanks. The whole thing is like, yeah, I just want to drop a pie. He plays it, he's like, Pickle's like, it's your birthday? He's like, no, it's not. But it's the thought that counts. It kind of makes Supergirl stupid in some things, which I think is kind of endearing sometimes. But also, like,
I like it better when Power Girl is stupid.
It depends on how it's portrayed.
I like it better when Power Girl is stupid, because that's kind of the point.
She got the kind of tragic backstory, though.
Well, yeah, she's a clone.
She a clone.
Let's see how big we can make. Like the fucking creator, like that's literally like they kept complaining that her boobs were too big, so he kept making it bigger and bigger and bigger, just to see how much he could get away with it.
Yeah, but he also kind of shot himself in the foot though, because like that was just all she ended up being.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That was it. It's Thundercats Roar.
All right.
We'll go off one more.
One more.
All
right.
Which is
one
before
more list or one more show?
One more show, because
okay.
it's like that's the only thing on this list, which is The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. Which I don't know if you remember Johnny Quest.
I watched that, yeah.
I to this day, so Aaron.
I actually have I think like you said, my dad has that one Johnny Quest on vinyl.
That I have.
Yeah.
Interesting little factoid for you guys. I bought my most of my vinyl collection from Aaron's father.
Because my dad, he old.
Yeah.
And he had a vinyl collection, and he refused to get rid of them. My mom was like, you need to get rid of some of the stuff. And Kodig was like, hello?
Yeah, exactly. So I bought a record player and a bunch of vinyls from them, including a couple of episodes on vinyl of Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest 20 Leagues Under the Sea.
Exactly. That's what it was, yeah. And so I have listened to it quite a few times.
Yeah, it's back when radio plays were a big thing.
Exactly. So beyond that, that's actually it for this, and we still have
quite a few. Just
a lot.
Just quite a few.
A lot. Because like we haven't even covered fucking Toonami.
Yeah, no, a bunch of stuff, man.
Fucking.
So this is gonna be 2, maybe 3 parts.
We're not expecting that. Honestly, I was like,
who knows?
I was like, it's gonna be like 1 6-hour podcast. Is what I thought it was.
Well, because I didn't expect it to be like all the WB shows and like.
Because it's part of Cartoon Network.
Yeah, and I knew Boomerang and like Hanna-Barbera. I was like a WB, and all of a sudden I was like, oh.
Yeah, this might be a 3-parter.
It's like trying to be like WB for kids stuff too. Is we're gonna like Johnny Test and TMNT. Are gonna like.
No, we haven't even covered Johnny Test.
Pokemon.
Oh my god.
So much stuff, dude.
We got a lot of shit to cover.
Oh man.
They had those WB hours on Cartoon Network. That was that one WB Kids. Remember that?
WB4 Kids was its own channel as far as I remember.
Yeah, it was its own channel, but it is,
Spectacular Spider-Man was on that!
but it is a subsidiary of Cartoon Network.
Yes.
So, like, that's another thing that we forgot. So, yeah, we got a lot more shit to cover.
We might do a different podcast in between part 1 and part 2, because we haven't talked about cartoons for a while. Not that we wouldn't talk about cartoons anyway, but we might come back with a different
Perspective.
a different podcast next time. Who knows? Maybe we won't if we don't come up with a new idea before the next recording session.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
But besides that, I think what we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna wrap it up here. We'll come back, maybe 2-3-parter. We'll see what happens on the next
It'll
podcast.
depend on how long it takes.
Exactly. And by the time that this podcast comes out, I'm 90% certain that me and Aaron will have moved
Somewhere.
We will have moved somewhere.
But the location we want to move into hopefully will be better
Suited
for
recording.
So if in that new situation happens, we might just be able to do just longer recording sessions.
Exactly.
Because it'll be more comfortable.
Exactly. And since me and Aaron will be moving in together again, means we can actually start uploading our other videos. So I'm not gonna make any promises.
Yeah, I don't have to insert that Anakin liar line again.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to make any promises on what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you guys our plan is to hopefully do one podcast a month. That is perfectly reasonable. If we don't follow
we said
this,
that at the end of the Nickelodeon podcast.
if we don't follow, well, to be fair, if we don't follow that was like we were
a
separate.
lot of stuff happened.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. We were separated. This time we'll be living together. Ryan won't be in as many episodes this time. Like he wasn't in that many to begin with, but like he won't be in as many this time because schedules are just different. He just
doesn't live with us anymore.
Exactly. He just doesn't live with us. But me and Aaron will be living together again for a while, probably. So it'll be a lot easier. But until next time, we'll see you guys on the next podcast. I've been Kodig.
I've been Aaron.
Bye.
I'm trying to think of like a boomerang, like bumper.
Welcome to Boomerang.
Josie and the Pussycats.
Crack it.